W. Harley Miller Systems understands the need and desire for reliable and affordable smart home solutions. Secure your home with a security system and keep a close eye on your family. Automate your home with a Control4 system and have smart technology work as one. Set daily schedules to control your thermostats. Push a button and set the mood for dinner by dimming lights and playing music, or just sit back and enjoy a movie in your own home theater. Put decades of experience to work for you. Visit us at whmsystems.com or call 304-350-1931.
The Honda HR-V, CR-V, Pilot, Passport, and Ridgeline. They all have one thing in common. They never back off from a challenge. Available with all-wheel drive, the Honda SUV lineup has the performance you can count on and the capability to amaze. It's no wonder Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com named Honda the 2022 Best Value brand.
CMA's Honda of Winchester, 3985 Valley Pike. CMA, moving lives forward.
Based on 2022 brand image awards from Kelley Blue Book, visit KBB.com for more information.
My kids, you know I want the best for you, don't you? We need to have a conversation.
End-of-life planning is no one's favorite discussion, but the relief of having everything in place when the hour of need arrives is a gift. Give it to your family. Plan ahead with us.
Brown Funeral Homes, a leading provider of cremations, invites you to explore the many flexible options of cremation. From environmental considerations to the benefit of greatly reduced cost, it may be the perfect answer for your family. Online at brownfuneralhomeswv.com. Brown Funeral Homes, here for you.
We're the Skinner Brothers. Most folks only need a lawyer once or twice in their lives. And when they're injured or in an accident, most people don't know what to do. We get it. It can be overwhelming.
Nobody likes to be told you need a lawyer, but that's why we're here. We want to get you back to your normal life and help you recover.
So if you or a loved one has been in an accident, give us a call. Let us figure out how we can get you compensation.
Reach us at skinnerwins.com or Google Skinner Lawyers. We'll treat you like family.
The following sports special is a broadcast presentation of Talk Radio WRNR Martinsburg.
Dear Lord, the battles we go through life.
Dear Lord, the battles we go through life.
We ask for a chance is fair.
We ask for a chance is fair.
Chance to equal our strife. Chance to do it there.
Chance to do it there.
We should win.
We should win.
Let it be by the code.
Let it be by the code.
Faith and honor held high.
Faith and honor held high.
We should lose.
We should lose.
Stand by the road.
Stand by the road.
Cheers when winners go by.
Cheers when winners go by.
Day by day.
Day by day.
We get better and better.
We get better and better.
So we can't beat beat.
We can't beat beat.
Boom, beat, beat.
Who let the dogs out? It's time for the excitement of West Virginia high school football, featuring the AAA Martinsburg Bulldogs. To get you ready for today's play-by-play action, we'll bring you interviews, in-depth analysis, and important game information on the pregame show. So let's get things started by going to the stadium and join our Talk Radio WRNR broadcast team.
Good evening from Martinsburg High School as we are live for more Martinsburg Bulldog football. Colin McLaughlin here alongside me is Dylan Bishop. As we welcome you here to Coburn Field at David M. Walker Stadium. Pre-game show is brought to you by W. Harley Miller Systems, providing custom integration services like home and office automation, home theater networking, audio, video distribution, and more. Phone them at 304-350-1931 or visit whmsystems.com as the Boys Latin Lakers from Baltimore, Maryland come up to the Eastern Panhandle to take on your Martinsburg Bulldogs. And Dylan, Boys Latin more known for lacrosse rather than football, but still a team that had an impressive win last week, 49-0 over St. John's Catholic, and a team that's looking to knock off Martinsburg today.
Right, yeah, Boys Latin. Just like a lot of schools around Maryland is known for lacrosse at first, whether it's high school or college level. That's kind of Maryland's thing. But here in Martinsburg, football is our thing because the Bulldogs, coming off of a big win against Stonebridge last week, looked incredibly impressive. Looked like a team that is poised to kind of run through the regular season, if we're being completely honest. But we'll see if Boys Latin can come in here and change that. It's going to be a tough task for them. But I think it's one that the Bulldogs are going to be ready for and should be interesting to watch because I think this is a really, really fun and really, really good Martinsburg team.
Yes, as we kind of just touched on last week, a dominating performance yet again for Martinsburg with a 41-7 win over the Stonebridge Bulldogs here at Coburn Field, and was really a coming-out party, Dylan, for Coy Fagan on the ground, netting 164 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, and then receiving side of things, 3 catches, 24 yards. So a big day for the junior. He's looking to match that again and lead the Bulldogs to its 3rd victory of the season.
Yeah, obviously we kind of expected a lot of good things out of Murphy Clement, but Fagan really popped off the screen to me and popped off the field here in person with my own 2 eyes, because he just really was explosive and hard to bring down on the first contact. And, he had that one 78-yard touchdown run that sort of got him, the vast majority of his yards, almost half of them coming on that run. Only 10 attempts to get to that 165 yards, which is incredibly impressive, and go with those 2 touchdowns. So I think it gives you a 2-headed monster in the backfield for running the ball between him and Murphy Clement, who also had 3 rushing touchdowns of his own against Stonebridge, to where teams have to account for the fact that either guy could be running the ball on any play, whether it's a read option, a handoff, the play action from Murphy stepping back and throwing the ball. He only had 13 attempts through the air last week, but they didn't really need to throw the ball a lot because they got out in front and took control for a good portion of the game. So I think you're right that Coy Fagan adds another element to this team to go along with the great receivers that are really athletic and fast and all of that on the outside. But I think that's really, we kind of knew about those guys coming into the season because a lot of them were here last year. And Fagan wasn't that full-time guy on the varsity level last year, and I think he stepped up and shown that he fits in like a glove.
It'll be interesting to see how that ground attack for the Bulldogs goes today, and expect more of that, especially with the incoming weather, as rain in the forecast under a severe thunderstorm watch until 11 p.m. tonight here at Martinsburg. And looking out at the field right now and looking down on the bleachers, the umbrella's already out, so it looks like a light drizzle right now. Hopefully the storms, for the most part, stay away. No thunder, no lightning, so that we can get this one through and have a great game between Martinsburg and Boys Latin. Really looking forward to this one tonight, as we've never seen Boys Latin. It's the first meeting between these two teams. You'll hear kind of how this meeting came to be later on here in the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show from the head coach of Boys Latin, and Tony Ronaldo, and definitely something that they're excited for, trying to test themselves against the Martinsburg Bulldogs tonight. It's a good test for themselves, certainly. I think, you get a lot out of it, even if you come in here, well, let's say it ends up, Martinsburg wins this game by a lot of points. You still get experience out of something like that if you're on the Boys Latin side of things. And any sort of game like that, whether it's, Martinsburg, putting themselves up against Stonebridge, or last year teams like Highland Springs, even if you lose a game, you get good experience out of it. And the upside is that if you win the game, you feel really, really good about yourself because you played an incredibly tough opponent and you came out on the better side of it on that night. All right, let's step aside, take our first break here on the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. On the other side of this 2-minute break, we will have the check of the area schedule, as one game from the Eastern Panhandle already concluding, one tomorrow and a few today as well. You'll hear about that from the head coaches, all that and more on the other side of this break. You are tuned into West Virginia High School football right here on Talk Radio WRNR and TV10.
W. Harley Miller Systems understands the need and desire for reliable and affordable smart home solutions. Secure your home with a security system and keep a close eye on your family. Automate your home with a Control4 system and have smart technology work as one. Set daily schedules to control your thermostats. Push a button and set the mood for dinner by dimming lights and playing music, or just sit back and enjoy a movie in your own home theater. Put decades of experience to work for you. Visit us at WHMsystems.com or call 304-350-1931.
Before the invitations and the dress, the flowers, cake, candles, or vows, there was an answer to a question proposed with a ring.
Bechtel Jewelers knows that an important part of your wedding happens before the I-dos. We're a diamond store with an engagement and bridal jewelry selection that's both exciting and accessible.
On the big day, there's everything else, and there's the ring. Make sure you get this one right at Bechtel Jewelers in Inwood.
At the Berkeley County Health Department, our motto is prevent, promote, protect. Since 1935, our mission has been to provide clinical and environmental services to protect the health of the general public. We're committed to building public health in our community by offering a wide range of services, including blood pressure screening, breast and cervical screening, family planning, counseling, lab testing, and more. We perform health inspections to make sure the restaurants you visit are clean, and we prepare and coordinate plans to respond to all hazards. The Berkeley County Health Department, 122 Waverly Court, Martinsburg.
Welcome back to the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. It's now time for the check of the area schedule brought to you by Rock's Local Markets. Fast, fresh, friendly, Rock's. The Spring Mills Cardinals got an impressive 39-14 road win at South Hagerstown last night to improve to 2-1 overall. Interim head coach Marcus Law had this to say about the game.
One of the things that stuck out to me was our special teams unit, particularly our kickoff unit. That's something that we spent a good majority of our time this week working on, trying to patch a couple holes there. Offensively, we were able to move the ball as effectively as that we could, and then defensively getting them and forcing them in 3-and-outs and things like that.
The Musselman train continues to chug along as the Applemen are now 2-0 on the year with an overtime victory last week over Loudoun Valley, 22-15. This week, Musselman has a road test as they head to Morgantown for another battle with the Mohegans. Head coach Brian Thomas says that it's a game that will be a big test for his team.
Morgantown's a really good team, and we were talking the other day in our staff meeting, probably my 11 years as head coach, they've probably been our biggest, I don't know if I want to say rival, probably the best games that we have played with a program have probably been Morgantown. We've had a lot of really good games over the past decade going against them. You know, they're a really good team, though. They're really well coached. You know, got a ton of big linemen, got a bunch of really good athletes. We were able to knock them off here last year, so I'm sure they've had our game circled a little bit on the calendar. So it's going to be a really big test for us, you know, going and playing a team that good and being on the road.
Hedgesville is now 1-1 overall after a comfortable 25-7 win over Kaiser last week. The Eagles are now setting their eyes on the Hampshire Trojans. Head coach Matt Faircloth says it will come down to how disciplined his team is.
Really improved team from last year. You know, they're getting the ball out quick. They got a really, really good screen game, and their kids play with a ton of effort. And you know, Kaiser came here with the same mentality, played with a ton of effort, and there for about the first, 3-4 minutes of the game, it took us a minute to try to figure out how we were going to wear them down. So, I think Hampshire is, much improved, and they're moving the ball, they're scoring points. So the biggest thing for us is just staying disciplined.
Washington is now 1-1 this season after falling 37-19 last Saturday to Governor Thomas Johnson. This week is a road game for the Patriots against the Frankfort Falcons. Head coach Terry Ray is familiar with Frankfort as they're a rival of Berkeley Springs, where he coached previously.
We played against Coach Whiteman at Berkeley Springs the 3 years I was up there. Coach Whiteman's teams are very disciplined and very well coached. It's a little bit different now. We got different kids, different set. That was a big rivalry for us up there. Our kids are excited to take the trip up there and have a different scheme and a different look the way we're going to do things. But I always know this, when you play Frankfurt, you better be ready to show up to play, because it's going to be a physical football game.
The Jefferson Cougars also sit at 1-1 so far. Week 1, they led Spring Mills 21-6 and were able to survive and win 21-19. Week 2, they led Shenandoah 21-10 and ended up losing 34-28 in triple overtime. Tomorrow afternoon, the Spring Valley Timberwolves make the trip to Shenandoah Junction with revenge on their minds after Jefferson ended their season last year. Head coach Craig Hunter says his team's key this week is obvious.
It's a big problem if you think about it. We've had 2 games, one we won, one we lost in triple overtime. The key thing is finish the fight. This week we're going to emphasize that finish the fight. If you go back to both games, the struggle has been scoring in the second half. So the main thing for the offense is to continue to score in the second half and put points on the board in the second half. As teams make adjustments defensively, we need to make sure we're continually making our adjustments offensively and don't overthink stuff and just continually put points on the board.
That was your check of the area schedule, brought to you by Rock's Local Markets, fast, fresh, friendly Rocks. Once again, our matchup tonight features the Boys Latin Lakers and the Martinsburg Bulldogs. We'll continue to preview this matchup coming up next on the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. You're tuned into West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10.
Nothing goes better with football than chicken. From Pee-wee to the big boys to the wing T formation, a hearty meal of 12 pieces for $12 is just what the boys need to be at their best. Oh my, fumbling, bumbling, stumbling.
Omaha!
Rock's 12 pieces of chicken, just $12.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%. Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
Hello?
We're here again 3 times in the past 2 days.
You're where?
Bechtel Jewelers. Look.
Can Mom hear you?
No, she's in a diamond coma. Get her the pendant, or I will.
Hey, that's my credit card.
What? Can't hear you, Dad. You're breaking up.
It's going to take more than a crying baby to wake her out of this diamond coma. You're going to need a mega dose of jewelry from Bechtel Jewelers.
After a car accident, what do you get when you call Mansion Ferretti?
You get more experience from a local law firm with over 115 years of combined service.
More respect from a team who treats clients like their own family.
And more fight, because we want you to get every dollar you deserve.
Experience, respect, results. If you've been injured, that's what you want in your lawyer.
And that's what you'll get when you call us. Car accident? Get more with Mansion Ferretti. 304-264-8505.
Welcome you back to Martinsburg High School at Coburn Field, David M. Walker Stadium for the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show, brought to you by W. Harley Miller Systems, providing custom integration services like home and office automation, home theater, networking, audio, video distribution, and more. Call 304-350-1931 or visit WHMsystems.com. Colin McLaughlin for Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10. Alongside me is Dylan Bishop, our on-site producers, John Alderton, cameramen are Matt and Miller down on the sideline up top. Daryl Miller back at the studio is Nick Verzolini, as we now break down the Boys Latin School of Maryland Lakers, as Boys Latin, a all-boys school, more towards Towson, Maryland, founded in 1844. A very tiny private school, about only 300 kids, but they're looking to have a big fight on their hands tonight against Martinsburg and try to pull off the upset.
Yeah, they got some pretty good players here that will be interesting to watch. A lot of them are committed to play lacrosse at pretty significant colleges here, Notre Dame and UMBC and Ohio State, to name a few. But I think the big matchup here they're going to be watched is the right guard for Boys Latin, Sean Crowley, committed to the Naval Academy for football. Him lined up across from the defensive line for Martinsburg, especially Rashad Reed. So that's going to be a fun matchup to watch. And I think that overall, Boys Latin is going to have to rely on that offensive line. We talked about it last week with Stonebridge, that was going to be the battle to watch up front, that the offensive line and defensive line for Stonebridge really needed to win against Martinsburg to have a chance in this game, and they really just didn't. So if Stonebridge didn't have a chance really to get anything going in the trenches and get their run game going and stop the run game for Martinsburg, it's going to be a tough time for Boys Latin as well. So there's going to be things that they got to try to do to counteract that if that is the case. Quick strikes out on the sides, screen passes, jet sweeps, whatever you can do. Bring pressure up front. If you can't get there with 4 and you can't create pressure and penetration with just your defensive line, you got to find other ways to do it. So they're gonna have to get creative, I think, to stop the Bulldogs' offense and to make sure that the defense doesn't disrupt all their plans.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to see how this team performs because they're a very young team, looking especially at the starters for Boys Latin. On the defensive side, I counted it up, and it's pretty much the same on the offensive side because most guys play both sides of the ball. You have 4 seniors, 1 junior, 2 sophomores, and then 4 freshmen on the defensive side starting for the Boys Latin Lakers. So majority underclassmen will be out there as the 11 for the Lakers. And in that backfield, yeah, on the offensive side, you're led by a senior in Dougie Weinman, but lined up to his left and his right at times in the backfield for halfbacks will be a freshman and a sophomore in Brandon Rattett and Jacob Gall. So it'll be tough for this team, and can Martinsburg take advantage of the potential inexperience that Boys Latin has and really push their will on them?
I think it's notable to, I just talked about that matchup of Crowley against Reed on the defensive line. It's worth noting that the other guard on the Boys Latin offensive line, Rocco Santos, is a freshman. So, unless he's incredibly experienced and really talented for a freshman, you might see a situation where Martinsburg tries to get that matchup instead of putting Reed against the Naval Academy commit. So that's something to watch. But the rest of their offensive linemen are upperclassmen, a couple seniors and a couple juniors. So that'll be an interesting thing to look at.
Looking at the stats from last week, only 1 game for Boys Latin so far. It was a win, as I mentioned earlier on in the pregame show. It was 49-0 over St. John's Catholic Prep. This team really liked to run the ball. They had 20 total carries going for 155 yards on the ground. And then Weinman really making his passes count, going 7 of 11, 140 yards, and 3 touchdown passes for him too. So if Martinsburg can put some pressure on Dougie Weinman, have him kind of panic a little bit, that'll probably help out the Bulldog side.
Yeah, that's not a whole lot of plays to be running in general. But, compare that. That's only about 31 offensive plays versus 40 that Martinsburg was able to run last week. So it ends up being kind of a 2-to-1 split of running and passing, which ideally that's kind of, in a game that you won by that many points, that's kind of what it's going to end up being. Look at the Martinsburg box score from last week. It kind of ended up being the same thing, where they ran the ball 27 times, passed the ball 13. So it's hard to get a gauge just off one game, whether that's just off of the stat sheet, whether they are that kind of run-first team. But Weinman threw the ball really well. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
All right, let's step aside and take another break here on the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. On the other side of that break, we will hear from the head coach of the Boys Latin Lakers, Antonio Ronaldo. You are tuned into West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10.
I'm Jonathan Bodwell, Bodwell Insurance Solutions, your local Medicare and life insurance agency. We are here to help you navigate the Medicare maze. We represent all of the major carriers, and you do not pay any more to go through us than if you go directly through a carrier. But if you go through us, you have a local professional to help you with all your Medicare needs, not a voice that could be in some other part of the world. Bodwell Insurance Solutions, your local Medicare agency. BodwellInsuranceSolutions.com or 304-283-0864.
My kids, you know I want the best for you, don't you? We need to have a conversation.
End-of-life planning is no one's favorite discussion, but the relief of having everything in place when the hour of need arrives is a gift. Give it to your family. Plan ahead with us.
Brown Funeral Homes, a leading provider of cremations, invites you to explore the many flexible options of cremation. From environmental considerations to the benefit of greatly reduced cost, it may be the perfect answer for your family. Online at brownfuneralhomeswv.com. Brown Funeral Homes, here for you.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
Remember when you were a little kid and saw your first deer?
Oh, how cute.
As an adult, maybe you've had a different experience.
Where'd that come from?
Bambi mess up your dream machine? Call Cody's Auto Body today at 304-901-4777 and get the work done right the first time. Cody's Auto Body, 851 Wilston Street in Martinsburg, has a team of auto body professionals with a lifetime of experience putting your ride back together again, regardless of how it got that way. Cody's Auto Body.
Welcome back to the W. Hurley Miller Systems pregame show. It's now time for our coaches interview, brought to you by Parsons Ford at 1400 Shepherdstown Road and online at parsonsford.com. They became number one by making you number one first, Parsons. As I'm now joined by the head coach of the Boys Latin Lakers, Tony Ronaldo. Coach Ronaldo, first time your team gets to take on the Martinsburg Bulldogs. Just tell us how this one kind of got scheduled and came to be.
Yeah, absolutely, and thank you for having me on. We're a little private school located in North Baltimore, and in the time of year where us football coaches are kind of finalizing some scheduling pieces, I kind of reached out to our original Week 2 opponent, and we just discovered that we had a disconnect. So the school that we played last year, Week 2, I thought that we're going to do a 1-and-1 type deal, and somewhere along the line, that got lost in translation, and that just put me in a position where we really, really needed a Week 2 game. And, I didn't think it was in the best interest of the program to take a bye, the second week of the season, especially after getting started. And the way my bye week is now, it's really just kind of middle of the season, like Week 5, Week 6, and it's right in the time of year where a lot of our conference opponents are kind of starting to beat up on each other. And, there's a lot of good in keeping that bye week right there in the middle. That allows us to get a little bit healthier, a little bit fresher, allows me to get out and kind of get a live look, get my eyes on some other teams within the conference. So, I didn't want to give that up. So I just got to my resources and hopped online and was looking at some boards. And, one of the only, schools in, a 3-hour radius that had an opening was Martinsburg that week. This was before, I think, Coach Walker was announced as the head coach coming back here, and I kind of reached out to the director of athletics at Martinsburg, and after playing a little bit of a communication tag with the AD, we finally were able to get this game on for our boys. And there were some other schools that we kind of kicked the can with, and it just ended up not working out either on our end or their end. And long and short of it is, this is an opportunity for us to play a really, really good football team. And like I said, it just kind of worked out for us. And we're really grateful to the Martin community for having us out here this week.
As I mentioned earlier, first time that your school goes against Martinsburg. So just tell us a little bit about your program and your team this year.
Absolutely. So we compete in the MIAA, which is one of the largest private school conferences in the state of Maryland. We are a small private school, so we only have 300 boys in our upper school, grades 9 through 12. Our program specifically only has about 50 young men enrolled in it. So we're growing. I became the head coach this off season last December. I've been here for 4 years, so I've previously been the offensive coordinator and the associate head coach. So I'm familiar with our program and our boys and our community and everything of that nature. So it's going to be a tough game for us, but we want to get better, and the only way you get better is by playing really, really good football teams and having good intentional coaching and putting your guys in positions to learn.
I'm looking at what you sent me via email and appreciate you sending it. It looks like your school really known for its lacrosse program. You guys have 6 players on your team committed for lacrosse to pursue their athletic career, and 1 to the United States Naval Academy for football. So just kind of talk about your athletes and guys that we should be watching out for this Friday night.
Sure, absolutely. And, it's a small school here. By design, it's intentionally small. And we do have some really prominent athletes that come out of Boys Latin. In the last 10 years, we've had about 3 that have gone on to play in the NFL. Every year we have, a signing class of, anywhere from 3 to 6. But lacrosse being, the main sport here at Boys Latin, we're a nationally recognized lacrosse program. And we believe in the multiple sport student athlete here at Boys Latin. where if you look at some of the other, more specifically in private school, across the board, you'll start to see a trend of specialization, where coaches, almost want their guys to play that sport year round. Here at Boys Latin, we actually, encourage the opposite. We want to see guys play multiple sports and whatnot and have fun and have the most of their experience. So we do have playmakers on both sides of the ball. In a football context, senior Sean Crowley, great interior O-lineman for us, had 29 Division I offers last spring and, committed to the United States Naval Academy on July 4th. Proud to go into service for his country, as an officer, and he gets to play at the FBS level. And then, some supporting cast members around him. We got a lot of really tough guys, a lot of guys that love competing in everything they do. As you mentioned, some lacrosse guys. Number 7 for us, Liam White, coming off of a really strong week 1. He's been committed to Ohio State for lacrosse since last year. Will Omach, number 82 for us, defensive end linebacker hybrid. He's also one of our specialists. He's committed to the University of Notre Dame for lacrosse. And, whether our guys are committed, uncommitted, lax football, our guys want to get better every single week, and it's really neat to see that kind of happen in real time.
Alrighty, Coach, final question for you. What are you most excited for in this Friday night's matchup against Martinsburg?
Just the experience. We have a young team. We're carrying some underclassmen on our roster, a little bit more than a lot of other varsity programs, and we're kind of building this thing. We're trying to do it the right way, and we're most excited for the opportunity to compete against a powerhouse like Martinsburg, and for me personally, just to be able to stand across the field from a coach like Walker is really exciting for me. And just give both boys on both sidelines an outstanding experience in the Martinsburg community on Friday night.
Alrighty, Coach, thank you and good luck on Friday.
Thank you, sir. I really appreciate it.
And that was our coach's interview with Tony Renato of the Boys Latin Lakers. Our coach's interview again brought to you by Parsons Ford at 1400 Shepherdstown Road and online at parsonsford.com. They became number 1 by making you number 1 first. Parsons. We'll continue our W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show right after this 2-minute break. You're tuned into West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10.
This is Eric at Hancock Chevrolet. Over the last decade, the way we buy things have evolved. Now, you get on your phone, click Want It, and it shows up at your front door. At Hancock Chevrolet, it is that easy. We've changed the car buying experience on the I-81 corridor forever. And with a return policy better than Walmart, there's absolutely no reason to buy a new or used car, truck, or SUV anywhere else. Just like Amazon, Hancock Chevrolet will deliver the vehicle to you, where you are, and on your time. And if you don't want it, return it. No questions asked. Why waste your time in a car dealership playing the dumb back-and-forth games? Besides, we hate it more than you do. I assure you, no dealership from Winchester, Virginia to Washington, D.C. will beat our price. No dealership from Cumberland to Baltimore, Maryland will beat our price. And no other dealership will allow you to return it if you don't want it. Hancock Chevrolet absolutely provides the best experience at the best price. Visit HancockChevy.com to schedule your VIP experience. Click on the vehicle you want, and your new ride will be delivered to you at no risk.
See dealer for details.
This is Senator Patricia Rucker. My record shows that I have led the fight for legislation to provide opportunity for West Virginians, strengthen families, protect our children, and improve education. But there is more work yet to do. West Virginia is on the rise, but we're still playing catch-up. That's why I'm asking for your vote, so that I can go back to Charleston and continue the progress we have made.
Paid for by Rucker for West Virginia, Mike Holtz, Treasurer, rucker4wv.com.
The Palace Lounge in Martinsburg is the place to be. Join us every night to relax and enjoy football or basketball games featuring either the Martinsburg Bulldogs, Shepherd University Rams, or West Virginia Mountaineers. We will have steak night every Wednesday, trip nights every Thursday, and now taco and margarita nights every Tuesday. You can find us on Facebook or call 304-267-7520. The Palace Lounge is located at 1350 Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg.
Welcome back to the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show on Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV10. Colin McLaughlin alongside me is Dylan Bishop. Our on-site producers, John Arterton. Cameramen are Matt and Daryl Miller. Back at the studio is Nick Verzolini as we get closer to kickoff between the Boys Latin Lakers out of Baltimore, Maryland, and your Martinsburg Bulldogs. Let's now break down the Bulldogs. 2-0 on the season after 2 dominating performances so far. Week 1 against Clarkson North, they won 35-7, and then last week against Stonebridge, a 41-7 win, and it's really been in the trenches where you can clearly see Martinsburg just absolutely dominating to kind of get us to the big place that we've seen so far this year, Dylan.
Yeah, you don't fully understand what you're working with the team, until you see them in person, in my opinion. You can, watch on TV and get a good sense, but when you're out here in person in the press, in the press box, seeing it with your own 2 eyes, you kind of see just how much of an athletic difference, or size difference there is. So last week was our first chance to actually see them in person, not being there for that first game. And I was really impressed. I think it was a dominating performance because on both sides of the ball. And like you said, it was in the trenches that it really showed because the running game was incredible. We mentioned it earlier. Coy Fagan had 165 rushing yards on just 10 carries. Murphy Clement, ended up with just 31 net rushing yards. He gained 52, had some sack yardage in there, a couple loss for yards in some places, but in the end he had 3 rushing touchdowns as well, and he's obviously an incredibly dangerous weapon with the ball in his hands. 8 for 13 passing the ball, pretty good. 112 yards, nothing to write home about. Didn't have any touchdowns, sacked twice, but I thought that he looked pretty solid throwing the ball. I don't think it was any sort of, spectacular aerial assault. Obviously, if it was, they probably would have thrown the ball a little more than 13 times, but I thought he got the ball to his receivers pretty well, especially in the short game, to, screen passes and these little slants, little outs, and things of that nature, and got the ball in the hands of guys like Buzz Dover and Sherrod Musgrove. That one throw by Murphy down to the 1-yard line to Buzz for a 40-yard gain was particularly impressive. They put the ball on a line, dropped it right in the bucket, and Musgrove's one big catch was more of a yards after the catch play by him. Had a punt return touchdown as well, so I think they have some really dangerous playmakers. Obviously, Coy Fagan added in 3 catches as well, and I think they've got a lot of weapons. I think you could have said what's going on with the defense going into this year, losing Cam Shallis. Is that kind of guy, your middle linebacker, patrolling the middle of the field, kind of the captain of the defense. But the defensive line is the same as it was last year, and it's just as good, if not better. Xerxes Yancey, Rashad Reed, and company, just having another year of experience going along with them, as well as Will Bass, Brady Breeden, E.J. Hendricks, all those guys kind of cycling in and out, that I think it's going to be really hard to run the ball on this team, no matter who they're playing. You just can't really get a whole lot going up the middle against them. You got Rashad Reed especially is just so incredibly tough to stop from getting into the backfield. And then if he does, you got some really good athletic guys behind him like Tyon Jacobs and Brady Hager and Coy Fagan at linebacker. And then, Murphy Clement plays some safety, Malachi Williams, Buzz Dover, Sherrod Musgrove on the outside. It's a complete football team. And I think any team, Boys Latin included, is going to have a tough time with that. Going to see what they can do. I think it's going to take some good scheming of their talent, put them in the right positions for them to be able to have success tonight in this game on the road.
All right, let's take another break on the W. Harley Miller Systems pre-game show. On the other side of that break, we'll hear from Martinsburg head coach Dave Walker, as well as some players, as we were joined by Will Bass and Coy Fagan of Martinsburg as well, to talk about last week and preview today's game against Boys Latin Again,
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%. Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
Locust Hill Golf Course invites you to historic Charlestown, West Virginia for 18 holes of phenomenal golf. We're just an hour drive from the Baltimore-D.C. Beltway, 1/2 hour from Winchester and Leesburg, Virginia, as well as Hagerstown and Frederick, Maryland. Each tee offers challenges across the 35 acres of lakes, ponds, and streams, which come into play on 11 holes. The Blue Ridge Mountains also provide a breathtaking backdrop to Locust Hill. Schedule your tee time today at www.locusthillgolfcourse.com or call 304-728-7300. That's 304-728-7300.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna call my parents. Dad, come over. The brisket's done.
The Traeger Connected Experience. Everything you need for epic flavor, and then some.
Shop now and save at Orsini's today.
The Joint Commission, in conjunction with the American Stroke Association, recently awarded WVU Medicine Berkeley Medical Center Advanced Recertification as a primary stroke center, which signifies WVU Medicine's dedication to fostering better outcomes for patients and demonstrates that our program continues to meet critical elements to improving outcomes for stroke patients. WVU Medicine Berkeley Medical Center is committed to providing patients the highest quality stroke care in the region.
Welcome back to the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. It's now time for our coach's interview as we go in the end zone, brought to you by Parsons Ford of Martinsburg at 1400 Shepherdstown Road and online at parsonsford.com. They became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons, now joined by the head coach of the Martinsburg Bulldogs, Dave Walker. Coach Walker, congrats on another great win last week over Stonebridge. Just give us your thoughts about that big 41-7 game over the Bulldogs.
I was just extremely pleased with the way our guys come out. They come out with a gladiator mentality, just, really worked hard throughout the whole game. And, I thought our conditioning was a lot better in week 2. But, again, we talked to them about just, being warriors, being gladiators, just trying to come out and work hard and try to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And they did that Friday night.
A lot of people were going into that game saying it was probably the toughest on the schedule, and to go out and have a dominating performance like you guys had. What does that really show about your program here?
You say that, but until after the game's over, then you reassess maybe what you say. But Stonebridge is traditionally a great program, and I think they're a really good team. I think they're going to win a bunch of ball games. I think we kind of got on it, steamrolled on them there in the third quarter, but I don't think the score was indicative of maybe how close it was, especially in the first half. But our guys are working hard, and they played extremely hard, and that's all I can ask out of them.
Let's start on the offensive side of last week's game. Somebody that really broke to the scene here, even though we know he's going to be a star, was Coy Fagan with 176 yards, I believe, on the ground, and then 24 through receiving yards to total his day with a few touchdowns as well. Just talk about his performance.
Just a great young man, works hard, does everything we asked him to do, a great team player, and really talented player. So I wasn't surprised. I think he's a really good athlete, and any way we can get him the ball, that's what we're going to do.
You have a lot of talent on both sides of the ball, but somebody that stood out on the defensive end with 1.5 sacks, Will Bass. We'll hear from him and Coy later on here in the pregame show, but talk about Will's game on the defensive end that you liked.
He's worked hard here in August and played hard. He gives us 100% in practice, and most of the time you're going to play the way you practice. So I thought he had a really good game, and it's paid off for him, because I know in the beginning of August, beginning of camp, he probably could have been in a little bit better shape. So I think he's finally getting himself where he's in pretty good shape. So I was very pleased with what he did.
Since those are the two guys I'm talking to, obviously going to mention those guys first, but who are some other guys that you really liked and stood out to you?
Well, I thought Surratt had a really big game. Of course, Murph, and I thought Buzz Dover really did a nice job for us. Really proud of the effort and the way he conducted himself Friday night as well. But up front, our whole offensive line, defensive line, just all of them did a really good job.
transition this week now. You guys get another home game against the Boys Latin Lakers, a team from Baltimore, small private school. What are you looking forward to in this matchup?
I just want to see us get better. Try not to make the same mistakes that we've made, and just go out and execute and play hard and have fun, and just try to get better and compete this week.
Looking at their team, guys that really lead the program, a few of the seniors more lacrosse players, but still definitely athletes for sure on the football side of things too. Watching the film that you have done so far this week, what has really stood out from the Lakers side of the game?
I think their offensive line's. I think they have a really good offensive line. Defensive line's good. So I think up front they're similar to us. They have good guys up front. So I think in the trenches this is going to be a key point to the game.
What are some of the other keys that you're really trying to hone in on for your side of the ball?
Well, I'd just like for us to try to play mistake-free, not turn the ball over, and minimize penalties and mistakes, and minimize mental mistakes, and just try to execute and get better.
Anything else, Coach Walker?
That'd be it.
All right, thank you. Good luck. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Again, that was our coaches' interviews brought to you by Parsons Ford of Martinsburg, located at 1400 Shepherdstown Road and online at parsonsford.com. They became number one by making you number one first. Parsons. Tonight's matchup features the Boys Latin Lakers taking on the Martinsburg Bulldogs. We'll have more of the W. Harley Miller System's pregame show right after this break. You're tuned into West Virginia High School football right here on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10.
At Dutch Miller Automotive, we've grown quite a bit over the last 60 years, but our core principles remain the same. We believe in treating our customers and our team members like friends and family, and we see it as our obligation to give back to all the communities we are so fortunate to do business in. In just West Virginia alone, we've grown from one location on the west end of Huntington to 10 rooftops employing more than 500 Mountaineers. Check out the inventory from all of our stores at DutchMillerAuto.com. Dutch Miller Automotive Group, West Virginia proud.
The Palace Lounge in Martinsburg is the place to be. Join us every night to relax and enjoy football or basketball games featuring either the Martinsburg Bulldogs, Shepherd University Rams, or West Virginia Mountaineers. We will have steak night every Wednesday, trip nights every Thursday, and now taco and margarita nights every Tuesday. You can find us on Facebook or call 304-267-7520. The Palace Lounge is located at 1350 Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg.
When will I be able to retire? How do I make the most of the money I have? How do I leave a lasting legacy to my loved ones? I'm Philip McCoy, financial advisor with the Mirius Group, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated. Call us today at 304-263-4343 to help you make the most of your financial future. Our office is located at 1270 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, West Virginia.
Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, member FINRA and SIPC. Radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer deaths in the United States each year. But do you know the radon levels in your home? Home is a place to live, love, and laugh, not a place to breathe air containing radon. The Berkeley and Morgan County Health Departments are distributing free confidential radon test kits, and you can get yours at the Berkeley County Health Department office in Martinsburg and the Morgan County Health Department office in Berkeley Springs. Protect your home and family. Get your free radon test kit today.
Welcome back to the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show as we now go in the huddle, brought to you by the Mirius Group of Ameriprise Financial Advisors, John Everson and Phil McCoy, located at 1270 Winchester Avenue right here in Martinsburg. Call them today at 304-263-4343. All right, I'm now joined by Martinsburg Bulldog offense and defensive lineman Will Bass. Will, congrats on a great game last week. Let's start on the defensive side because you had 1.5 sacks just on that side of the ball. How'd you feel out there, man?
I felt great. We worked as a team. Couldn't ask for much more.
All right, man. Just go a little bit into detail. Tell us about the competitiveness. I know you guys have a great defensive line. Just talk about the camaraderie and everything that you like with your teammates.
With me and Rashad and their D tackle, I feel like we're two of the strongest linemen. So got good, strong inside, and then we got speed with EJ, Xerxes, and then we got Peyton coming in, and we got LaDania as well off the edge.
What do you feel like some of your strengths are that you bring on that defensive line and offensive line?
My strength and the fact that I know every position on the field, so I can help people who don't know that much, or if they forgot.
just mentioned kind of knowing every position on the field. How tough has it been for you, I guess, learning them along the way, or was it kind of easy to learn all of them for you?
It came easily because I love the game of football, so I study what I learn, and that's about it for that.
What do you love most about playing football?
Being able to hit people. That's just it, being able to hit people.
So this week you guys get to go up against Boys Latin, a team out of Baltimore up front. Have a good bit of talent, but also some youth on that side of the ball. What are you most looking forward to this week's game?
Really to see how they play, because as the game goes on, you really adapt to how they play, and then that gets you better or worse, and of how better technique I can get.
What are some goals that you have in place for you for the rest of this season?
Just to be dominant on the D-line and O-line.
All right, man, appreciate the time, and thank you, and good luck.
Thank you.
So I'm now joined in the huddle by running back, quarterback, linebacker, Coy Fagan. He does it all for this Martinsburg Bulldog team, especially on the ground this last week, taking on Stonebridge, a big game for you, a breakout game. Man, how did it feel out there just dominating here at home?
Yeah, I felt really good. Everything was just coming together, the blocks, the whole team. It was nice, yeah.
We talked a little bit during the preseason. We know the talent and the speed that you really had, but you finally got to put it on the field at the varsity level. How special was that moment?
It felt really good to use my speed in the game. It was nice to this pass right there.
Looks like you already got some fans going for you too, trying to distract you a little bit. But just talk a bit about this week's game. You guys take on Boys Latin. What have you seen off the film so far from them?
They've been playing a spread similar to us, so we're used to it because this is how we play when we do scout team. So we're just putting the work in, and we're ready to go into this Friday and get the win.
What are some other goals that you have in place for you this season?
Touchdowns. My friend told me he was saying he wants me to get 15 touchdowns. So I'll say I go 15 touchdowns this season. I want to make one of the either first or second team all state. Let's strive for first team, and I think that's it this year.
So some nerves, obviously, week one, a little bit trying to get used to the varsity level. Just talk a bit about week 3 now, how much you've kind of got comfortable in this spot.
I've got way more comfortable with the plays and how everything is going, and I'm just excited to keep playing this role for the team.
All right, man, anything else?
No, sir. Thank you.
That was our In the Huddle segment of the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. In the Huddle is brought to you by the Marius Group of Ameriprise Financial Advisors, John Everson and Phil McCoy. They're located at 1270 Winchester Avenue right here in Martinsburg. You can give them a call at 304-263-4343. We'll be back for more right after this 2-minute break. You're tuned into West Virginia High School football right here on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10.
Ollie's VIP North Side is the best spot to catch all your favorite teams. Join us Monday for Dollar Wings and Monday Night Football, Thursdays on the patio for the Cornhole Tourney, Friday Night Lights with happy hour specials, or Saturdays during or after the college games for Steak Night. Get a ribeye or New York steak for just $26.95. Ollie's has great food and drink menus too, along with 17 TVs to watch any game of your choice from anywhere at the bar or their outdoor patio and fire pit. So stop by and see for yourself today at 36 Veronica Drive in Martinsburg. That's Ollie's VIP North Side. We'll see you for the game.
Mayhem is everywhere.
I'm your new bangs, and you can't stop staring at me. That's it. Just tilt the rearview mirror over here. And while you're checking me out more times than a library book, your car is wandering into that lane over there. More bangs? Neat. And if you've got cut rate insurance, you could be paying for this yourself. So get Allstate.
Call Martinsburg Allstate agent Gary Kelly today at 304-263-4596.
Hi, Crescia Hornby here. Larry DeMarco, broker of Modern Realty Results, believes he has some of the best real estate agents in the Eastern Panhandle. Agents at Modern Realty Results have years of experience and knowledge of the local real estate market. Agents within the office work as a team to provide quality customer service. We strive to always ensure client satisfaction through handling every transaction with honesty and integrity, all while offering competitive rates. Modern Realty Results is veteran-owned and managed. Please call us at 262-4222, modernrealtyresults.com.
Hi, it's Talk Radio WRNR and TV10 Spencer Dupuis. When I got into a car accident and needed to get another vehicle, I wanted to go somewhere I could trust. So I went to the Heffley Motor Company at 993 Hedgesville Road.
As a first-time car buyer, I really didn't know what to expect. But at Heffley, they treated me like family. Every step in the process was seamless. Not only did they give me a great deal, but they also helped me secure an amazing interest rate. Now I know firsthand why Heffley has such a great reputation in this community.
I ride with Heffley Motor Company, so you should too.
Welcome back to Coburn Field at David M. Walker Stadium, about 8 minutes away from kickoff between the Boys Latin Lakers and the Martinsburg Bulldogs. Colin McLaughlin alongside me is Dylan Bishop, John Alderton, our on-site producer, Matt and Daryl Miller, our cameraman back in the studios, Nick Verzolini. Let's quickly get our intro of game officials brought to you by Brown Funeral Homes and Cremations, Robert Fields and Sons, family-owned, full-service funeral home in Martinsburg, Inwood, and Charlestown, Renton, proudly serving the area since 1880. And tonight's referee is Mitch Shaw, umpires Randy Robinson, head linesman is Duran Carter, line judge David Warner, field judge James Watts, side judge will be Stephen Bank as the Martinsburg Bulldog Marching Band takes the field. Let's step aside, take a final 2-minute break. On the other side of that break, we'll give you our keys to the game as well as the starting lineups tonight for Boys Latin and Martinsburg. Again, a 2-minute break. Back to the studio. Nick, this is West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and TV10. Back in 2 minutes.
This is Eric at Hagerstown Ford. Over the last decade, the way we buy things have evolved. Now, you get on your phone, click Want It, and it shows up at your front door. At Hagerstown Ford, it is that convenient. We've changed the car buying experience on the I-81 corridor forever. And with a return policy better than Walmart, there's absolutely no reason to buy a new or used car, truck, or SUV anywhere else. Just like Amazon, Hagerstown Ford will deliver the vehicle to you, where you are, and on your time. And if you don't want it, return it. No questions asked. Why waste your time at a car dealership playing the dumb back-and-forth games? Besides, we hate it more than you do. I assure you, no dealership from Winchester, Virginia to Washington, D.C. will beat our price. No dealership from Chambersburg, Pennsylvania to Baltimore, Maryland will beat our price. And no other dealership will allow you to return it if you don't want it. Hagerstown Ford absolutely provides the best experience at the best price. Visit HagerstownFord.com to schedule your VIP experience. Click on the vehicle you want and get your new ride delivered to you at no risk.
See dealer for details. And that concludes today's pregame show.
We play every play like it's the most important play of the game. Who let the dogs out?
Coming up next, it's the starting lineups, opening kick, and play-by-play action of West Virginia high school football featuring the AAA Martinsburg Bulldogs. Today's game is being brought to you by
Orsini's Home Store, Modern Realty Results, Cody's Auto Body, The Palace Lounge, CMA Honda, Bechtel Jewelers, the Berkeley County Health Department, Skinner Accident and Injury Lawyers, Brown's Funeral Home and Cremations, Hagerstown Ford, the Mansion Ferretti Law Firm, the Mirius Group of Financial Advisors, Bodwell Insurance Solutions, the Heffley Motor Company, W. Harley Miller Systems, Smallwood and Small Insurance, Chris Miller and the Dutch Miller Auto Group, Ollie's VIP Lounge, and the Gary Kelly Allstate Insurance Agency.
And now, let's go back to the field and rejoin our Talk Radio WRNR broadcast team.
Welcome back to Coburn Field at David M. Walker Stadium as we are getting closer to kickoff between Boys Latin and Martinsburg as the national anthem just concluded. Let's get today's starting lineups brought to you by Skinner Accident and Injury Lawyers, representing accident and injury claims for over 50 years. Go to SkinnerWins.com. Start with Boys Latin on offense at quarterback, number 9, Dougie Weinman. Running backs will be freshman number 6, Brandon Rattett, and number 22, Jacob Gall, the sophomore. Up front on the line, number 70, Liam Thompson, a senior. Number 63, Rocco Santos, a freshman. Number 77 in at center, Will Bagby. Your right guard, a captain, number 73, Sean Crowley. Right tackle, also senior, number 68, Reeves Cook. Your wideouts are number 4, Braylon Dorsey. Tight end, number 44, Ridgely Ritter. And another wideout, number 2, Mason Proud. On defense up front, Two sophomores, number 54, Jajile Ward, number 78, Gabe Cunningham, junior, number 53, Tyler McCullough, number 82, Will Omock. Your linebackers, number 13, Tyrell Moore, number 34, Blake Griffith, and number 21, Paxton Randall. Your corners, number 7, Liam White, number 4, Braylon Dorsey. Your safeties, number 17, Cole Curtis, number 2, Mason Prout. For Martinsburg up front, you got E.J. Hendricks, Brady Breeden, Peyton Kaufman, Rashad Reed, and LaDanian Weller. Wideouts, Tyon Jacobs, Rod Musgrove, Buzz Dover, and Cash Gideon in the backfield. At running back, Coy Fegan. Quarterback, Murphy Clement. And then defensively up front, Xerxes Yancey, Rashad Reed, Will Bass, E.J. Hendricks. Corners are Buzz Dover, Rod Musgrove. Linebackers, Coy Fegan, Brady Hager, Tyron Jacobs. And then your safeties, Murphy Clement and Cash Gideon. Let's see if we can hear down below for the
Point got
coin
back, ball back from Afghanistan. The flags are tails, tip of the spear's head.
White pants, black helmet.
Tails. Tails are called. I'm going to flip and catch it. If I drop it, I'll do it again.
White helmets.
The head. You want the toss. You want the ball.
We have the toss taking place. Just quickly get the keys to the game as the key to your next car. Brought to you by the Dutch Miller Automotive Group. Friends and family pricing.
I think for boys Latin, like we talked about in the pre-game, the battle in the trenches, you absolutely have to, or else guys like Rashad Reed are going to absolutely the run game and the pass game, and you're not going to be able to stop the run. And don't forget about Coy Fegan. Obviously, Murphy Clement gets a lot of the hype and attention. We saw that from Stonebridge last week, and I think that's part of the reason why Coy Fegan was able to run for 165 yards. On the Martinsburg side, need to stay disciplined. Don't make a lot of penalties, and don't turn the ball over. And I think that they should start fast, like pick up the pace and get out in front very early. You don't want Boys Latin to have a early advantage and get themselves a little bit of momentum. I think that's the one way the Boys Latin can win this game. They start early, they kind of get things rolling on their side quickly.
All right, as the coin toss concluded, I believe Martinsburg won the toss, looking down to see what they elected to do, as I believe they will be returning as your opening kickoff, brought to you by CMA Honda of Winchester, located at 3985 Valley Pike. CMA moving lives forward. For those watching on TV 10, it looks like our scoreboard cam might be down for now. See if maybe Dylan or somebody can quickly go work on that to see what the issue is. Hopefully just a wire that might have got disconnected or something, but try to get that back up as quickly as possible, and then he'll come back, help us out here as we get ready for kickoff. Kicking off, it looks like, will be for the Lakers of Boys Latin, number 82 for them in Omock. As back to return will be Cash Gideon and Sherrod Musgrove for the Bulldogs. As Will Omock lines up his kick. And we are off here at Martinsburg High. A high end over end kick to the far side, caught at the 9-yard line on the far side by Cash Gideon. He breaks off the middle, breaks off a tackle, now comes to the near sideline and will be tripped up by Boys Latin's number 18, William Zayas, as going down is Gideon just shy of the 45. They say he went down at the 43-yard line of Martinsburg, so that's where it will be a 1st and 10 with 11:50 to go here in the first quarter. So great field position to start off for the Bulldogs. It's Murphy Clement at quarterback with Coy Fegan as of right now to his left side. You have 3 receivers on the far side of the field. Tyon Jacobs all the way outside at the 40 on the line. Sherrod Musgrove in the slot, as well as Cash Gideon. Then on the near side is number 4, Buzz Dover. Almost looked like there might have been a flag down, but it was actually the gold gloves of Sherrod Musgrove on the 5-yard line to our left, so that has to be picked up and brought to the near sideline, and we're ready to go. 1st and 10, Martinsburg. Kaufman snaps the ball back to Clement, and he'll hand it off to Fegan. Fegan goes up the middle, plows through the tackler to gain 5. Just shy at the 50. At the 49 is Fegan to bring up 2nd down and 4. Big tackle there, as just hanging on for dear life for Boys Latin was Tyler McCullough, and to make that stop. 11:25 to go in this scoreless first quarter. 2nd and 4, ball on Martinsburg's 49-yard line. 2 receivers to each side of Clement this time, with Fegan to his right lined up in shotgun formation. Snap, Faking the handoff is Clement. He keeps it all by himself, goes up the middle, has the first down, spins through a few tackles, gets out to Boys Latin's 40 before he falls to the ground. So that is a gain of 11 and make it a first down for Martinsburg by Murphy Clement. They say he was stopped with his knee down at the 41-yard line, so 1st and 10 from Boys Latin 41-yard line with 11:04 to go in this first quarter. Still in back, hopefully the scoreboard camera back up long for the TV side.
We'll get there. We need to find a battery for it.
And a handoff tripping over the feet of Clement was Fegan, and he'll lose about a yard or two on that one. Some miscommunication on which way Fegan was going. That cost him the trip over Clement, so that brings up 2nd down now and 12. Ball at the 43.5-yard line of Boys Latin. 10:36 to go in this first quarter. 2 receivers to each side of the formation as Clement in the pistol formation now with Fegan to his right. Shifts him over to the left, and it looks like we had some movement on the near sideline by a receiver of Martinsburg. I believe it was Cash Gideon jumping a little bit too early, so that'll be a false start on the Bulldogs. 5-yard penalty to back them up and make it now a 2nd down and 17. Ball at the 48-yard line.
Well, this was what I was saying when I said stay disciplined. You don't want to kill yourself with penalties or turnovers at some point.
Two receivers to each side for Murphy Clement. He has Fegan lined up to his left. Snap from Kaufman, Clement dropping back the pass, chucks it deep in the middle of the field as a receiver in and out of the hands of Buzz Dover. That would have been 6, but it's dropped to bring up 3rd down.
He had him. It was a really nice throw by Clement. Just bounced off Buzz Dover's hands.
So far, it was a 5-yard run for Fegan to start off, followed by an 11-yard run of Clement. So far after that, it's been stalling. 3rd and 17 at the 48-yard line to Boys Latin. 10:04 to go in this first quarter. Snap back to Clement. He drops back looking to pass, steps up in the pocket, fires a dart across the middle. It's caught by Gideon, and Gideon tackled by the corner, and they'll say it was a yard short of the first down gain, as in to make the tackle was Colt Urtis, the freshman, in to make the tackle, but Martinsburg going quickly, going for it on 4th and 1.
As they should.
Ball at the 32-yard line. They have to get to the 31 of Boys Latin. 9:40 to go in this first quarter. Clement with Fegan to his right, gets the snap back from Kaufman, and he's going to run right up the middle, has the block from Fegan, spins off a tackle, and Murphy chugging along, has the first down out across the 25 at the 24-yard line. So a 7-yard gain for Murphy. Clement gets Martinsburg another 1st and 10 with 9.5 minutes to go in this first quarter.
Boys Latin only had 1 down defensive lineman that play. Just kind of noticing that across the line to see if they keep that up, kind of as a way to maybe better prepare themselves to rush the passer. That is kind of the defense they're sticking with.
Rolling out to his right is Clement, looking downfield as a man wide open in the backside of the end zone. Cash Gideon jumps up, makes the catch. Touchdown Martinsburg with 9:19 to go in the first. It's Bulldogs 6, Lakers nothing. A 24-yard touchdown pass to Cash Gideon to start things off for Martinsburg.
It's just a corner route by Cash Gideon going kind of like a post, but except you're going towards the pylon instead of the goal post. And it was a kind of a wobbly throw by Clement, but it got there in enough time because Gideon just kind of blew right by his man. I think it was a busted coverage with a zone back there from the strong safety. And by the time he figured it out, Gideon was already behind him, and Clement was making the throw.
On to attempt the extra point will be Cody Page as whistles blow first. Looks like something wrong with the freshman Colt Urtis on the right side for Boys Latin, so he has to quickly go out and have somebody come back in for him on this field goal block. It's Page trying to get the PAT to make it 7-0 here in the first. Fegan on to hold, Will Bass to snap it back. They look to the near side for the call first. Snap is back to Fegan, low snap, but He's able to get the hold down. The kick is up from Page, and that kick right through the uprights. And good to make it 7-0 Martinsburg with 9:19 to go in the first. They lead Boys Latin. You're tuned into West Virginia High School football and Talk Radio WRNR and TV10. We are back in 1 minute.
At Dutch Miller Automotive, we've grown quite a bit over the last 60 years, but our core principles remain the same. We believe in treating our customers and our team members like friends and family, and we see it as our obligation to give back to all the communities we are so fortunate to do business in. In just West Virginia alone, we've grown from one location on the west end of Huntington to 10 rooftops employing more than 500 Mountaineers. Check out the inventory from all of our stores at DutchMillerAuto.com. Dutch Miller Automotive Group, West Virginia proud.
Hi, Crescia Hornby here. Larry DeMarco, broker of Modern Realty Results, believes he has some of the best real estate agents in the Eastern Panhandle. Agents at Modern Realty Results have years of experience and knowledge of the local real estate market. Agents within the office work as a team to provide quality customer service. We strive to always ensure client satisfaction through handling every transaction with honesty and integrity, all while offering competitive rates. Modern Realty Results is veteran-owned and managed. Please call us at 262-4222, modernrealtyresults.com.
We are back as Cody Page on to kick off for Martinsburg as he has 5 to each side of him. Only one man back to return as everybody kind of moved up expecting the short kick, and that's exactly what Page does, a short end over end kick. Fair caught as making the fair catch for Boys Latin on his knees as he had to drop down to make that catch was Cameron Frank. As they say, fair caught it at the 36-yard line, it looks like. Maybe the 35. No, it is the 36. So 1st and 10 with 9:19 to go in this first quarter. As let's quickly get our scoring drive summary going.
That was a 7-play, 62-yard drive by the Bulldogs, capped off with a 24-yard touchdown pass by Murphy Clement to Cash Gideon.
Scoring drive summaries brought to you by Paul Espinosa for State Senate, an effective, fiscally conservative voice for the 16th District, as the Lakers pistol formation snap back to Weinman, and he tries to hand it off to his running back, and immediately he's met. Saying hello to make the stop was Tyon Jacobs and Rashad Reed, a loss of 4 on the play, as the freshman Nortet just immediately blown up in the backfield.
Was a matchup I talked about in pregame. You know, Boys Latin has their right guard committed to play football at the Naval Academy. Their left guard is a freshman, and Rashad Reed, guess what, came on the left side past that freshman Santos and got in the backfield.
Weinman says Rated out in motion to his right, screen pass to the near side, in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Mason Proud. It falls incomplete to bring up 3rd and 14. 8 minutes, 37 seconds. It stops on the clock here in the first quarter. It's Martinsburg 7, Boys Latin nothing.
The receiver just didn't let the ball into his hands. You got to catch the ball before you can run with it.
As Boys Latin goes into the huddle to get the call. Big 3rd down for them, 3rd down and 14 as they break the huddle. 8:37 to go in this first quarter. For Weinman, he has the running back lined up to his left, 2 receivers to each side. Martinsburg bringing the pressure. Weinman gets the snap, dropping back to pass, looks to the near side. It's a quick slant, and it's almost picked off by Murphy Clement. In and out of his hands. It looked like it just kind of hit his chest too hard and fell to the turf. But that incompletion brings up a 4th and 14 with 8.5 to go in this first quarter. So a quick 3 and out for the Lakers.
It really seemed like Clement had it in his hands, but it, just couldn't hold on. I don't know if the ball is a little slippery out there. As far as I know, it hasn't been raining for at least a little bit.
Yeah, I see a majority of the umbrellas put away, still some out, but now it's a punt for Omok as he gets the snap and sends this one into the sky end over end to the far side, and that one goes out of bounds, and we'll have to wait and see where they mark it. Is that a very short punt? I think they keep going, already at the 45, at the 44-yard line. So that only a total of a 12-yard punt for the net yards, and that'll be great field position again for the Bulldogs offense. 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line of Boys Latin with 8:33 to go in this first quarter. So no time ever went off that clock. A little bit of a mistake there, but no harm, no foul.
See if it ends up making a difference later in the game.
Trips to the near side, 1 receiver to the far side for Clement. He gets the snap, hands it off to Fegan. Fegan runs up the middle through the hole and gets tripped up right at the last second. A shoestring tackle for Boys Latin, as that's a 14, 15-yard gain, 1st and 10 for Martinsburg.
Oh, that was a good example of the burst that Coy Fagan has. Good hole opened up by the offensive line on the left side, and he just got right through it, showed good vision to find it, and then took about 5-10 yards before anyone touched him.
1st and 10 at the 28 of the Lakers. Same formation as last play. Clement takes the snap, dropping back, looking to pass, looks to the near side, chucks it deep for the end zone. Musgrove wide open, turns around. Does he have it? He does. Touchdown, Martinsburg, as Sarad Musgrove, with 8:07 remaining in this first quarter, makes it 13-0 Martinsburg over Boys Latin.
Murphy Clement is just throwing dimes. That was a great pass by him. Sarad Musgrove just beat his man on the outside. Straight streak down the field, and Clement gets it to him. Maybe a little underthrown, but Musgrove had plenty of separation between him and the corner for him to be able to make the play.
On to attempt another PAT is Cody Page, as he lines things up for Martinsburg. Snap again a little low, but Fagan on to hold it, and the kick is no good, as it looks like he just mishit it, barely went over the line, so
I don't think
PAT, as it remains 13-0 with 8:07 to go in the first. Let's step aside and take another 1-minute break. You're tuned into West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
We're back live. 13-0 Martinsburg leads with 8 minutes, 7 seconds to go in this first quarter over the Boys Latin Lakers, as Cody Page on to kickoff for Martinsburg. And he sends this one deep to the backside. It is caught on the far side of the field by Mason Proud at the 10. He goes up the middle at the 30 is where he'll be tackled, as he almost broke through, but getting there was Malachi Williams to make the stop. It'll be 1st and 10 for Boys Latin with 8:01 to go in this first quarter. It's Martinsburg 13, Boys Latin nothing, as Dylan headset back on. Let's get our scoring drive summary.
2 plays, 44 yards. Ends in a 28-yard touchdown from Murphy Clement to Sarad Musgrove.
Second passing touchdown of the day, as that scoring drive summary brought to you by Paul Espinosa for State Senate, an effective fiscally conservative voice for the 16th District, as Weinman, a shotgun formation lined up behind him, is the running back Rattett. He has 2 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side. He hands it to Rattett. Rattett goes up the middle, slips through 1 tackle, then gets tripped up, stumbles forward, gains 3 yards, as that brings up a 2nd down and 7 with 7:50 to go in this first quarter.
Came out in the pistol that time. Basically just the same as the shotgun, except the running back is behind the quarterback instead of next to the quarterback. Shotgun's when the running back's next to him. And I think that's kind of seems to be what they're doing here, a spread run operation. We'll see how it works out. It doesn't give you a lot of extra blockers against your defensive line and linebackers.
And with the pistol formation, they actually have A.J. Franchella, the freshman quarterback, in as the snap to Franchella. He fakes the handoff because of some miscommunication, so he has to keep it himself as he went to hand it off to his left. Rattett, the other freshman running back, went to the right. He's still able to gain a yard. Brings up 3rd down and 6 with 7 minutes to go in this first quarter.
That's interesting. I have to don't really know whether it's an injury to Weinman or if this is a strategic decision. But now you got 2 freshmen in the backfield. when you seem to be running an offense predicated on decision-making between your running back and quarterback.
So Franchella has shotgun formation with Ratet to his right, 2 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side, and a tight end on the left side of the line. Snap back to Franchella, and he overthrows the tight end Ritter on the far side, and that'll be another 3 and out for Boys Latin, as it brings up a 4th down and 6 at the 33 with 6.5 to go in this first quarter. It's Martinsburg 13, Boys Latin nothing, and again on to punt for Boys Latin will be Omach. And back to return will be Musgrove and Clement as they line up at Martinsburg's 40.
If my math is correct, Boys Latin has 1 total yard of offense so far.
Snap back, a low one. The punt is away, and this one in the field of play. Caught by Musgrove on the far side at the 37. Goes to the far sideline, tries to come back in. 2 flags thrown. He's spun around and brought down at the 50. We'll see who those flags are on. Martinsburg kind of talking with one another, so kind of makes you believe that it's against the Bulldogs.
It's going to be a block in the back. I saw it happen. It wasn't even a block that really needed to happen. Musgrove was almost past him already on the play. Really, the blocker just needed to stand there, and the Boys Latin defender wouldn't have gotten to him.
Let's quickly get our first quarter sponsors as we're presented on TV 10 by the Dutch Miller Automotive Group, home of friends and family pricing, as well as the Brown Funeral Homes and Cremations, Robert Fields & Sons, family-owned full-service funeral home in Martinsburg, Inwood, and Charlestown Ranson, proudly serving the area since 1880, as we still are figuring out the penalty to see how many yards Martinsburg has to be backed up here, as tackle was made at the 50, so they back up Martinsburg to the, looks like, 38-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 for Martinsburg at its 38-yard line. 6:22 remains in this first quarter of play. It's Martinsburg 13, Boys Latin nothing. Clement in shotgun formation. He has 3 receivers on the near side of the field, 1 to the far side of the field. Fagan to his right, fakes the handoff to Fagan, keeps it himself on the read option, goes Clement, tries to break through 1 tackle, spins around, and is tackled near that line of scrimmage. We'll see if they give him a few yards. It looks like he was able to tumble forward out across the 40, so about a 3 or 4 yard gain for Clement on that one. It's in to make the tackle is Blake Griffith. 2nd and 7, under 6 minutes to go in this first quarter. Martinsburg a little confused here on the call as Kaufman kind of shrugging his shoulders to Murphy Clement. You got 10 seconds left on the play clock. They're still trying to figure things out. Clement now looking at the near side to Coach Walker, and Coach Walker's going to call a timeout. Let's take that timeout with them, a 1-minute break. You have 5 minutes, 38 seconds to go in the first. It's Martinsburg 13, Boys Latin nothing. Again, a 1-minute break. You're tuned in to West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10.
I pre-planned my funeral to make it easier on my family. They were relieved to know I'll get just what I want.
My family actually thanked me for taking matters into my own hands. Turns out having this awkward conversation wasn't awkward at all.
Pre-planning is my choice. There are certain things about me my family may not know. Now they won't need to guess.
The choices are yours. The peace of mind is theirs. Pre-plan your funeral with Brown Funeral Homes and everything will be taken care of. Find out more online at brownfuneralhomeswv.com. Brown Funeral Homes, here for you.
Locust Hill Golf Course invites you to historic Charlestown, West Virginia for 18 holes of phenomenal golf. We're just an hour drive from the Baltimore, D.C. Beltway, 1/2 hour from Winchester and Leesburg, Virginia, as well as Hagerstown and Frederick, Maryland. Each tee offers challenges across the 35 acres of lakes, ponds, and streams, which come into play on 11 holes. The Blue Ridge Mountains also provide a breathtaking backdrop to Locust Hill. Schedule your tee time today at www.locusthillgolfcourse.com or call 304-728-7300. That's 304-728-7300.
We're back live in this first quarter of play between Martinsburg and Boys Latin. 5:38 remaining in the first quarter. Martinsburg with the ball at 13-0. It is 2nd down and 7 at the 41 of Martinsburg. Snap back to Clement. He hands it off to Fagan. Fagan tries to find a hole, now breaks to the near side. And a tackle at the 40-yard line. A great set of the edge there by the defense of Boys Latin, as in to make the stop of Coy Fagan was Cameron Frank, the linebacker / tight end on the offensive side of things, but no yards gained. Keeps it at 3rd down, 7 yards still remaining to get to that 1st down marker for Martinsburg. 5 minutes, 7 seconds. Clock ticking down in this first quarter. 2 receivers to each side of Clement, who has a pistol formation as he sends now Fegan in motion to the far side. Clement gets the snap from Kaufman, drops back the pass, throws across the middle. It's caught on the run by the receiver at the 30 of Boys Latin, making it 29. Sarad Musgrove with the catch as he's tackled. Big first down play for the Bulldogs.
It's been very clear here early that the game plan is, hey, we can throw the ball on these guys. Murphy Clement is been really impressive so far, throwing the ball, 40-yard gain.
It's Prout in on the tackle, and a whistle blows with 4 minutes, 50 seconds to go. The clock stops as the head official now goes over to talk to Coach Walker on the near sideline. It looks like it's an issue with the clock, and because of it, it looks like they're going to wind some time down just a little bit and then tell them where to stop as the clock now at 4:41. And the clock starts to wind down. So now 4:35 in the first. It's still Martinsburg 13, Boys Latin nothing. The clock issue has been solved. You have 3 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side, which is buzzed over. Clement, Fegan to his left, gets the snap from Kaufman, drops back pass, looks near side. It's a quick pass to Dover. Dover tries to get shifty, slips through the tackle, but steps out of bounds just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. That'll be a 13-yard gain and a first down again for Martinsburg.
Yeah, it's soft covered in the flats that time, so he just ran a little hitch route, ran a couple yards up and stopped. And it was a perfect soft spot between the safety and the corner.
First and 10, they say he stepped out at the 17-yard line. 4 minutes, 10 seconds to go in this first quarter. It's Martinsburg in the red zone now, trying to punch in another touchdown. Clement shifts Fegan to his left. He has 3 receivers on the far side, 1 to the near side of the field. 5 seconds remain on the play clock. He gets the snap, hands it off to Fegan. Fegan slips through a tackle, tries to juke through another one, but now a swarm of Lakers bring him down across the 15 at the 14, so 2 or 3 yard gain it looks like they'll give him, bring up 2nd and 7 with 3:40 to go here in this first quarter.
He didn't have a whole lot of room to maneuver upfield on that one, but he stayed patient and used some agility, juked the guy out, and was able to get 3 yards out of it.
Again, 2nd down and 7, ball at the 14 of Boys Latin. 3 minutes, 20 seconds to go in this first quarter. It's Martinsburg 13, Boys Latin nothing. Clement in at quarterback with Fegan to his right, 2 receivers to each side of the formation now. Some linemen trying to communicate with one another. It's Hendricks and Breeden on the left side, and it's an outside zone to Fegan, who's rushing to the far sideline and breaks through a tackle, but they say he stepped out of bounds while doing so. Another short gain, and they'll say he was about 2 or 3 yards short of the first down as he stepped out at the 10, so a 4-yard gain to bring up 3rd down and 3 with 2:45 to go here in this first quarter.
I'm going to say his forward progress was stopped at the 10 before he's pushed backwards and out of bounds. But the results of a 4-yard gain.
2.5 minutes remaining in this first quarter for Martinsburg as they continue to control time of possession here in the first. 2 receivers to each side of Clement. Snap back from Kaufman. He drops back looking to pass to the near side. It's wide receiver screen caught by Tyon Jacobs. He goes up the middle, dives forward, loses the ball, and they'll say he was at the goal line before he lost it. It's a touchdown, Martinsburg, with 2:13 remaining in this first quarter. It's now 19-0 Martinsburg over Boys Latin.
Yeah, just a screen pass to Jacobs, and he makes a move. He had a lot of room once he caught the ball and really only had to get past one guy, got wrapped up by the legs, and put the ball over the pylon, or over the goal line, not by the pylon, and ground caused the fumble. Elbow hit the ground, then the ball popped out.
Page on to attempt the PAT. Fegan on the hold. Bass ready to snap it. Snaps back. Extra point is up. Through the uprights and good to make it now. Martinsburg 20, Boys Latin nothing with 2:13 to go in this first quarter. Let's step aside, take another 1-minute break. You're tuned into West Virginia High School Football and Talk Radio, WRNR and TV10.
Nothing goes better with football than chicken. From Pee Wee to the big boys to the wing T formation.
A hearty meal of 12 pieces for $12 is just what the boys need to be at their best. Oh my, fumbling, bumbling, stumbling.
Omaha!
Rock's 12 pieces of chicken, just $12.
The 37th Community Wellness Screening Event, sponsored by Rotary of Martinsburg with services provided by WVU Medicine, will be held Saturday, August 26, 6 to 10 a.m. at WVU Medicine Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation on Tavern Road in Martinsburg. Know your numbers. It's easy and convenient. No waiting in line, no doctor's appointment. Discounted screenings offered. Pre-registration required. Deadline to register is August 18th. Sign up today. Call 304-264-1223.
Back for the kickoff as Martinsburg leads 20-0 in this first quarter with 2:13 left on the clock against the Boys Latin Lakers. As on to kickoff for Martinsburg will be Cody Page. Page again with a far end over end kick that will be returned at the 10 at the right hash marks. As now coming up the middle as the return man slips through a few tackles and will finally be brought down by Martinsburg's, I believe, Izzy Martinez.
The kick return, kick coverage unit needs to do a little bit better job that time. That's a really far out return for Boys Latin.
It's Curtis in on the return there to make it 1st and 10 for Boys Latin at the 35-yard line is where they'll mark it. So that's kind of been where they've started, I believe, all 3 drives, about 2 or 3 yards inside of that 35, give or take, as they come out for the 3rd drive now, but still, I believe, only 1 total yard of offense, correct, Dylan?
Yes, so far, and that was a 7-play, 62-yard drive that ended in Murphy Clement's 3rd touchdown pass the first quarter, that one 10 yards to Tyon Jacobs.
Scoring drive summaries brought to you by Paul Espinosa for State Senate and effective fiscally conservative voice for the 16th District, as a delay of game will be called against Boys Latin, so starting off the drive with a penalty to back them up to the 30-yard line to make it a 1st and 15 with 2:05 to go in the first. It's Martinsburg 20, Boys Latin nothing for those just tuning in. Snap back to the quarterback, dropping at the pass is Franchella, chucking it deep on the far side, overthrows the receiver, and it's intercepted by Musgrove for Martinsburg. Musgrove goes back the other way, now turns it over to the near side of the field, trying to follow his blockers. 2 flags thrown, and Musgrove going to be stepping out of bounds in a late hit. That'll add more flags. I think every single referee has thrown a flag now, and we have some extracurriculars afterwards too. But let's try to count them out here. Play a little I Spy with me, Dylan. I think I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 flags, maybe 6.
I think I can help you out because I'm pretty sure I saw every penalty that happened on that play. First of all, throws the interception. They go wheel route to the receiver that was in motion. You could tell the quarterback wanted to throw that ball to that receiver. He decided before the snap that's where he was throwing the ball no matter what. Overthrew it, interception. Almost immediately, blindside block. Throw the penalty there. There might have been a block in the back on that side as well, or it was 2 flags thrown on the same thing. Sherrod Musgrove is then tackled out of bounds for a late hit. Buzz Dover is blocking someone on the return for Boys Latin. Whistle's blown. They're pushing and shoving on the ground with each other. Dover shoves him. He gets a flag thrown on him. It's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct both ways on both teams, probably offsetting, and I assume they'll probably back it up 10 yards from the spot of the blindside block, maybe 15 yards. That might be a personal foul. So I think in the end of this, you're probably going to see Martinsburg start with the ball, still interception still counting, probably around their own 30-yard line.
And that's why Dylan gets paid the big bucks, ladies and gentlemen. Great job there by Mr. Bishop, and let's see how accurate you are. Holding. Roughing the passer, I think, was one, too, I saw, and another holding. They're all declined. Another holding. That also declined.
So it was multiple holdings on the return as well, unsportsmanlike conduct.
That declined, too.
So after the play, well, this would be a good time for them for this official to, we have an ejection. I'm going to guess that's Dover.
No, I'm looking at the near side, and I just saw Walker, I think, look back to Tyon Jacobs, and he's shaking his head. And Jacobs, I think, is the one thrown out, the sophomore. Now Coach Lynn's also yelling at him, too, so I think that's who it is.
I definitely saw Dover right in front of me.
Well, Dover's back out on the field, so it's not him.
Okay.
That was ejected, so. Well, it's.
So if it was roughing the pass, there was that hit back there. So yeah, the interception doesn't even count. I didn't notice the roughing the passer, so that was the only thing that I missed. So actually, everything after that didn't even matter.
Back at the.
Wow.
It looks like 24-yard line. So that roughing the passer negates the interception, which means keeping possession of the ball is Boys Latin. You have a minute 49 remaining in this first quarter. It's Martinsburg 20, Boys Latin nothing. And we're still waiting for everything to kind of be settled, for the flags to be picked up and put back into pockets of every referee. And we'll go on from here.
I think it was Tyon Jacobs that got the roughing the passer call, and I think that might be. It's either that or he is ejected, and he, instead of going to the locker room or whatever, he's just sitting on the bench still in his pads and helmet.
So everybody's back into position, still waiting, I think, just for the penalty to be marked off first. That's the only thing that has not happened yet, I believe, unless they already did, because Boys Latin saying that it wasn't, but the flag was at the, I believe, 24-yard line. And the ball's at the 30, so maybe not. But they say it's a 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line of Boys Latin, and that's where they're going to keep it, and we're going to resume from there.
Well, there was just generally a lot of penalty yardage to add up there going on. So, end result, roughing the passer, basically. Play didn't count, but I think when you add up all the penalties that are going on all over the place, the ball didn't really move much. I think it actually went, unless they just haven't marked it off yet. The ball is exactly where it was.
That's what I thought. Even though the flag was back to the 24, that's because that's just shotgun formation where quarterback was. So
I think the referees, I think the officials now
with how many penalties there was,
right,
they probably still have to figure out in total how many yards.
Yeah, you have to figure out which are offsetting and which aren't. So if there was, on the return, there was definitely hit out of bounds by Boys Latin. There was definitely unsportsmanlike conduct against Buzz Dover. So I think those offset.
And I think there were 3 or 4 holdings at least.
There was holding on the return. There was blocking the back on the return, and there was roughing the passer. So yeah, now they're starting to move the ball up. It should at least, I would think, be at the Martinsburg 45, if not further. Oh, that's where they're keeping it. Okay.
You're correct. It is at the 45-yard line of Boys Latin.
Oh, yeah, Boys Latin 45.
15-yard penalty marked off against Martinsburg. So it'll be, again, 1st and 10, minute 49 to go in this first quarter. 20-0 Martinsburg leads Boys Latin. It's the freshman quarterback, I believe, A.J. Franchella, still out there instead of the senior Dougie Weinman. Snap back to Franchella. He hands it off to his running back in pistol formation, Rattett. Rattett goes up the middle, gains 3 yards before being spun around and tackled by a few Martinsburg linebackers. Say he gained 2 to bring up 2nd down and 8 with a minute and a half to go in this first quarter.
After all that confusion, Boys Latin keeps their drive going. It was a pretty good chance for Martinsburg to potentially get up even another touchdown on the board before the end of the first quarter on that interception. But the hit came in, roughing the passer, which, I mean, maybe it was a good call. I saw that him get hit as he threw. I didn't think it was a roughing the passer call unless he got hit in the helmet.
So 2 receivers to each side of Franchella. He has the running back to his left. A.J. Franchella drops back, looking to pass, steps up. And this one picked off by Martinsburg. And is that Murphy Clement in on the INT? It is, as he jumps up, makes the catch, immediately goes down at Martinsburg's 42-yard line. So with a minute to go, it's a INT for the Bulldogs to get the ball back, leading 20-0 over the Lakers.
Well, look at that. All you another minute or two, and you get the same result that you would have had before on that play with all those penalties. tip the ball doesn't come back to about your own 40, or excuse me, their 40. You're at your own 40 now. So no penalties on that one. Just caught the ball, fell to the ground. He could have really potentially taken it all the way back if he had, kept his feet when he jumped up for it.
So 1st and 10 for Martinsburg. At its 42-yard line, you have Clement in at quarterback after getting the interception. 2 receivers to each side. Fegan in at running back. It's a fake handoff to Fegan. Screen pass to the wide receiver on the near side, Gideon. Is thrown a little bit ahead of Gideon through his hands. It falls incomplete as Gideon wanted a late hit there. Is kind of coming up and giving him a little extra shove from Boys Latin was Tyrell Moore. No penalty. That brings up 2nd and 10 with 57 seconds to go here in the first.
I'd like to know why Tyon Jacobs was ejected from the game. Maybe he was doing something similar to what Dover, or something worse to what Dover was doing on that one play. He's still sitting there. I think he's done for the day. But
we'll see if later on our sideline reporter and Matt Miller helping us out can see if we can get an explanation for that, as well as maybe an update on Weinman as speed option. The pitch from Clement on the near side goes back to Fegan, and now gets a block from Clement. Fegan down the near sideline, out across Boys Latin's 35 is where he'll step out of bounds. A big gain for Martinsburg makes it 1st and 10 in enemy territory with 47 seconds to go in this first quarter.
There, it took Fegan, had to jump past the guy before he was able to kind of cut upfield, get some burst. But great run overall. Looks like Kyrie Bunny's probably taking Jacobs' place out at wide receiver.
So Bunny, the lone receiver on the near side. You have 3 on the far side. Clement gets the snap, drops back the pass, looking to the far side of the field. Has all day in the pocket. Now chucks it deep towards the end zone. Wide open. Caught. Touchdown at the B on the far side. 40 seconds to go in this first quarter. It's now 26-0 Martinsburg over Boys Latin. A 34-yard touchdown connection from Murphy Clement out to, I believe, Cash Gideon making this touchdown.
It was a pretty long developing there. You could call Gideon kind of the opposite of what he did on his first touchdown of the day, just running that corner route towards the pylon. He doesn't go for the pylon. He goes for about the middle of the end zone. Murphy Clement, kind of a similar situation to Boys Latin on the other play, where he definitely wanted that play to go to him the entire way. The only difference is he was open, and he was able to make the play because the safeties didn't realize that he got behind the back level of the defense.
It looks like we have an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty after the play called on Martinsburg, so we'll see if Boys Latin, it looks like, will elect to tack that back, on the kickoff, not the PAT.
I guess he must have said something. I didn't notice anything that he did. Gideon, that being Gideon, but it had to be him.
Page's extra points up. That one's good to now make it 27-0 Martinsburg on top of Boys Latin with 40 seconds to go in the first. Step aside, take another 1-minute break. You're tuned into West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and TV10.
One of the questions lawyers get asked the most is, what is my case worth?
I'm Steven Skinner, and this is my brother Andrew with Skinner Accident and Injury Lawyers.
The truth is, it's very difficult for a lawyer to pinpoint a number because every case is different.
We get to know each situation and we'll give you an idea of what your case is worth and why.
The sooner we get involved, the better we can do getting you the compensation you deserve.
Google Skinner Lawyers or go to skinnerwins.com. We'll treat you like family.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna call my parents. Dad, come over. The brisket's done.
The Traeger Connected Experience. Everything you need for epic flavor, and then some.
Shop now and save at Orsini's today.
We welcome you back as it's now a 27-0 lead for Martinsburg on top of Boys Latin as Page on to kickoff from Martinsburg's 25-yard line after the penalty, and Page sends this one end over end, and it'll be caught at the 30 of Boys Latin as Mason Prout in on the return. He only gets up to the 35-yard line again, make it the 36, and again, that's where Boys Latin starts.
We were able to figure out why Tyon Jacobs was ejected from the game, thanks to Matt Miller subbing in for Spencer Dupuis. By the way, that was a 3-play, 58-yard touchdown drive, ended with a 34-yard touchdown from Clement to Cash Gideon. I'll tell you about Tyon Jacobs after that.
So the scoring drive summary brought to you by Paul Espinosa for State Senate, an effective, fiscally conservative voice for the 16th District. And we'll get back to why Tyon Jacobs was ejected after this play, as it's 1st and 10 with 36 seconds to go in this first quarter. The snap back to Dougie Weinman, who's back in at quarterback for Boys Latin. So not sure why he was out the past few drives with Franchella, but it's a run and a loss on the play of 3 to bring up 2nd and 13.
All right, so first of all, big thanks to the Hall of Famer Matt Miller subbing in for Spencer Dupuis on the sidelines. Hope Spencer feels better as soon as he can. He was able to tell us why Tyon was ejected from the game, and it was something that I saw but didn't really think much of. Tyon Jacobs went onto the field to break up Buzzed Over from getting into a fight, and Tyon Jacobs was ejected for being a player that was not in the play coming onto the field to play illegally. Essentially, the substitutions were not allowed to be made yet. So he came off the bench. It's something you see in basketball too. Guys come off the bench during a fight, they're ejected.
And that is the end of the first quarter. Martinsburg 27, Boys Latin nothing is your score. We'll step aside for another 1-minute break, then be back for the second quarter here at Martinsburg High. You're tuned into West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and TV10.
Mayhem is everywhere.
I'm your new bangs, and you can't stop staring at me. That's it. Just tilt the rearview mirror over here. And while you're checking me out more times than a library book, your car is wandering into that lane over there. More bangs. Neat. And if you've got cut rate insurance, you could be paying for this yourself. So get Allstate.
Call Martinsburg Allstate agent Gary Kelly today at 304-263-4596.
I'm Jonathan Bodwell, Bodwell Insurance Solutions, your local Medicare and life insurance agency. We are here to help you navigate the Medicare maze. We represent all of the major carriers, and you do not pay any more to go through us than if you go directly through a carrier. But if you go through us, you have a local professional to help you with all your Medicare needs, not a voice that could be in some other part of the world. Bodwell Insurance Solutions, your local Medicare agency. BodwellInsuranceSolutions.com or 304-283-0864.
We welcome you back as we are now in the second quarter between Martinsburg and Boys Latin. 27-0 is your score. Bulldogs on top of the Lakers. Lakers with the ball. 2nd down and 12 on their 33-yard line. Leave Weinman in back at quarterback. Claps his hands to try to get some motion. Unsuccessful. The handoff back to the running back, and it's scooped up now on the fumble. It's Xerxes Yancey slipping through the tackle. Weinman off to the races on the far side. Can Yancey get to the end zone? He can. Scoop and score. Martinsburg touchdown. 34-0 Bulldogs over the Lakers with 11:49 to go in this second quarter.
It was a classic rumbling, bumbling, stumbling there, picking up it's another defensive touchdown for Xerxes Yancey. It's just a fumble on the exchange. The quarterback and running back were never able to get a clean handoff, and he picks it up. And there's a couple times I thought he was going to get tackled, but he kept his balance.
We
Impressive.
have a flag on the play as well. It was a false start on Boys Latin. Penalty was declined, so the touchdown stands.
But they let him get the play off? That's interesting.
Yeah, I guess so. So on to attempt the extra point is Page. On to hold the PAT is Fagan. For Martinsburg as pass on the snap. PAT's up. Through the uprights on the south end zone. And good. 34-0's your score now. 11 minutes, 49 seconds to go in this second quarter. Let's keep it here since 10 seconds ago we were already on a commercial break and give you our second quarter sponsors as we're brought to you by Hagerstown Ford, revolutionizing the car buying experience. Go to HagerstownFord.com, as well as Skinner Accident and Injury Lawyers, representing accident and injury claims for over 50 years. Go to SkinnerWins.com.
I don't like being this guy, but I know it's something that Coach Walker is absolutely going to say to his team at halftime. you guys are up 34-0. One of the keys that I had for this game was stay disciplined. You got guys getting in fights on the field. You got guys coming off of the sideline to break up the fight. You go up 27-0 in the first quarter, and you get a taunting penalty on the touchdown. What are we doing, guys? Like, the players, heat of the moment, things happen, but keep yourselves under control, guys. I really didn't like the going up 27-0. You're getting a taunting penalty. I don't know what happened over there. I don't know if it was justified or not, but that's something that Coach Walker is absolutely going to address.
Definitely need to prevail in this one because you want to keep everybody for the next few games. There's already one ejection, as we mentioned earlier, to the sophomore Tyon Jacobs of Martinsburg as we're back. End-over-end kick, short, and will be returned by the backman of Ritzett. And Ritzett slips through everybody off at the 40. Now over on the far side at the 50, out across Martinsburg territory at the 45. And they'll say his knee was down, I believe, at the 41-yard line of Martinsburg. So a great return by Ritzett there to make it 1st and 10 Boys Latin, but hold everything. A flag back at Martinsburg's 33-yard line. It's an illegal block against Boys Latin, so that'll back things up after a tremendous return by Ritzett.
That's disappointing for them. And just to be clear, I'm not hating on Tyon Jacobs for getting it for the ejection. That's one of the best ways that you could get ejected. He's being a good teammate there, trying to get his teammate not to have himself get ejected from the game. But if you are Dover in that situation, you can't put your teammates in that situation. You gotta calm down. Not a guy just kind of pushing and shoving you. You got to learn how to just take that in stride. He's trying to, more than likely, that guy's trying to get you. He's trying to provoke you and get you ejected or your teammate ejected. That's something you learn. Obviously, these are kids. They'll learn that over time, but it's just something to note.
1st and 10. The snap back to Weinman. He hands it off to his running back, who tries to go up the middle, but will be stopped at the line of scrimmage by Martinsburg's defensive line. They'll say he actually lost the yardage. Ritzett after the return in on that loss of 1 to bring up 2nd down and 11 with 11 minutes, 20 seconds to go in this second quarter. It is 34-0. Martinsburg leads Boys Latin.
I think we're at -1 total yardage for Boys Latin, unless there's a play that I'm missing here.
It's been a tough day for them.
It really has. We saw what this defensive line did to Stonebridge, so I can't say it's surprising.
I don't think the pressure's going to let up, as for Martinsburg right now it looks like 7 in the box out of the 11 on the field.
Yep.
Lineman in pistol formation, hands it off to Ritzett. Ritzett tries to get through a hole, only gets back to the original line of scrimmage. That'll be a gain of 2, they say, for the forward progress, as he was stopped at the 24. Make it 3rd down and 9 with 10.5 remaining in this second quarter.
I mean, look, this team's only thrown the ball 3 times so far. They've all been incompletions. And they had an interception that was only, declined because of a penalty, roughing the passer.
And then the other one by Murphy Clement that was not.
Right, yes, they had that one as well. So they have not been able to pass the ball very well at all, and that makes your offense one-dimensional, makes it a lot easier for the defense to defend. They can put those 7 guys right up in the box. They can put even more if they really wanted to.
And we have a timeout called with 9 minutes, 57 seconds to go by Boys Latin. Let's take the timeout with them, a 1-minute break. It's Martinsburg 34, Boys Latin nothing. You're tuned into West Virginia High School Football on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10.
At the Berkeley County Health Department, our motto is prevent, promote, protect. Since 1935, our mission has been to provide clinical and environmental services to protect the health of the general public. We're committed to building public health in our community by offering a wide range of services, including blood pressure screening, breast and cervical screening, family planning, counseling, lab testing, and more. We perform health inspections to make sure the restaurants you visit are clean, and we prepare and coordinate plans to respond to all hazards. The Berkeley County Health Department, 122 Waverly Court, Martinsburg.
Let's go! Drink some beers! Not a new grill and pub!
Conveniently located right off 81 at 214 Mid-Atlantic Parkway, Mountaineer Grill and Pub offers many daily specials, including happy hour 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. with $2 domestic bottles and $2.50 domestic drafts. Monday night is trivia night, Thursday night is wing night, and Wednesday and Sunday night is steak night.
Let's go! Drink some beers! Mountaineer Grill and Pub!
Back for more here at Coburn Field at David M. Walker Stadium. Second quarter between Martinsburg and Boys Latin. 34-0 the Bulldogs lead the Lakers. It is 3rd down and 9 for the Lakers at their 24-yard line. As they break the huddle in the all-white uniforms as Boys Latin, you have the senior quarterback Dougie Weinman back in. Freshman Rattett lined up to his right and 2 receivers to each side. It's Weinman in shotgun formation. Sends a man in motion from left to right. Gets the snap from Bagme. Dropping back to pass as Weinman steps up because he feels the pressure. He slips through the sack and now is trying to scramble for some yards. Goes to the far sideline but can't pick up anything as coming forward is a few Martinsburg linebackers to force Weinman to go out of bounds. They say he stepped out of bounds for a 1-yard loss at the 23-yard line now, and that'll send out the punt unit again for Boys Latin with 9.5 minutes to go in the second quarter.
Yeah, an incredibly athletic quarterback might have been able to get something out of that, but the Martinsburg linebackers were just able to chase that down very quickly.
So on to punt is Will Omock. Back to receive for Martinsburg is Musgrove and Clement. It's Martinsburg ready to go. The punt from Omock and Boys Latin, a short one, bouncing at the 50, rolling to Clement. He scoops it up at the 40 on the far side and will now go out of bounds. Late flag thrown as he steps out. Well, that's kind of towards the back. No, that's not a flag, actually. My apologies. That was something, what looks like, of Martinsburg, maybe a towel or a glove, as from the far side couldn't really tell the color, but I saw it picked up by Dalvin Wheeler, so no flag.
I do see a flag on the other side of the field.
Oh, I was looking right, you're looking left now, and you see something?
Yeah, at the 40-yard line of Martinsburg. Well, they're pointing at it here.
Yeah, I see it now. 8 minutes, 57 seconds to go in the second quarter. It's Martinsburg 34, Boys Latin nothing. As a referee comes over to talk to Dave Walker, trying to explain what's going on, and now talking to the officials. It's been a busy night for them so far.
It has. It has not been easy out there for them.
So now Walker trying to plead his case to see how many penalties it is. Looks like there might be 2. And they're going to say one is a false start or illegal procedure, and then a block in the back. So those penalties offset and will re-kick the punt. So
okay, fair enough.
Back on is the punt unit for Boys Latin and the punt return for Martinsburg.
I guess, Martinsburg could have declined the penalty if they really wanted to, and gotten themselves, pretty solid field position. Clement went out at about the 45. I do think that this is actually backed up Boys Latin. So I don't even know if it was offsetting.
Yeah, you're correct, even though we had an illegal block in the back.
Because now
they put it back.
Oh.
Yeah, the way things were setting up, it
they
looked like
they backed it up, and now they're pushing it back forward.
So
okay, weird.
Here we go, the punt at the 24, Boys Latin. Omock on to punt again. Musgrove and Clement back to return for Martinsburg. Omock sends the punt. This one a beauty. Caught at the 45 by Musgrove on the near side. He goes up the middle, slipping to the near sideline now, and he has blockers in front of him. There goes Musgrove at the 35. Jukes past Omock. Jukes past another blocker. 10-5. Touchdown, Martinsburg. Great moves there by Sarad Musgrove to make it 40-0 Martinsburg with 8:40 to go in this second quarter. 55-yard punt return, give or take, to extend the Bulldogs' lead over the Lakers.
Man, Musgrove is just electric with the ball in his hands. It's pretty similar to what we saw with Jameer Hunter last year. I think Hunter maybe had a little bit more top-end speed, but when it comes to just making guys miss in the short field, those short little cuts, finding those blocks on these punt and the kick. We saw Musgrove last year was great in the kickoff return game, especially in the Sharando game. But man, that's 2 games in a row.
Page on to attempt the PAT for the Bulldogs as they now lead 40-0 in the second quarter as the extra point's up. It's short, but it's still through the uprights and good to make it now 41-0 Martinsburg on top of Boys Latin with 8:40 to go in the second quarter. Step aside, take a 1-minute break. You're tuned into West Virginia High School football and talk radio WRNR and TV10.
Hi, Crescia Hornby here. Larry DeMarco, broker of Modern Realty Results, believes he has some of the best real estate agents in the Eastern Panhandle. Agents at Modern Realty Results have years of experience and knowledge of the local real estate market. Agents within the office work as a team to provide quality customer service. We strive to always ensure client satisfaction through handling every transaction with honesty and integrity, all while offering competitive rates. Modern Realty Results is veteran-owned and managed. Please call us at 262-4222, modernrealtyresults.com.
Locust Hill Golf Course invites you to historic Charlestown, West Virginia for 18 holes of phenomenal golf. We're just an hour drive from the Baltimore, D.C. Beltway, 1/2 hour from Winchester and Leesburg, Virginia, as well as Hagerstown and Frederick, Maryland. Each tee offers challenges across the 35 acres of lakes, ponds, and streams, which come into play on 11 holes. The Blue Ridge Mountains also provide a breathtaking backdrop to Locust Hill. Schedule your tee time today at www.locusthillgolfcourse.com or call 304-728-7300. That's 304-728-7300.
Welcome back as Martinsburg on to kick off again as they are in control at 40-0 over Boys Latin with 8 minutes 40 seconds to go in the second quarter still. It's Page on to kick off. He'll send this one deep as goes to Retet, but he's called off by a guy to his left at the 15-yard line. Going up the field at the 30 now is the return man, and he's still pushing forward, and now they push him back, and whistle's blown with 8:31 to go. As Colt Urtis, the freshman, in on that return of 15. R.J. Brown in on the stop, getting the call. So 1st and 10, ball at the, looks like they'll say he got to the 31 of Boys Latin, so 1st and 10 for the Lakers. It's 41-0 Martinsburg on top here, with 8.5 to go in the second quarter.
This has been pretty much dominant. So
almost had a little confusion there. I was trying to remember if we needed a scoring drive or not, but that was only a punt return touchdown for Martinsburg. Sorry, Delegate Espinosa. Not right now. We'll get you later on here, of course, as expecting more points on the board. As this one, a screen pass to the far side. It drops. Or did they say he caught it and then went down? No, they say it was dropped as the pass on the far side, intended for Liam White, falls incomplete to bring up 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, they're kind of doing you dirty there, Paul. That's 2 straight touchdowns. Those defensive and the special teams, they did not actually drives. It's just plays.
2nd and 10 at Boys Latin 31-yard line. 8:20 to go in this second quarter. Lineman in pistol formation with Retet lined up behind him. He has 3 receivers near side, 1 to the far sideline. Snap back. He hands it off to Retet. Retet goes up the middle, and immediately collapsing in on him was E.J. Hendricks, as well as, I believe, Will Bass in on that stop. Brings up 3rd down.
Yeah, the Lakers just can't get anything going up front or Radit. Do the math here. I think he's at -1 rushing yards on 7 attempts. He had a run of 3. He's had 2 2-yard runs, but then 3 or 4 negative yardage runs for the rest of it.
3rd down and 15 at the 25, 7.5 to go in the second quarter. Flag thrown as the play clock hits 0. It's a delay of game called against Boys Latin to back him up another 5 yards, make this now a 3rd down and 20 at the Lakers' 20-yard line with 7:24 to go in this second quarter. It's Martinsburg 41, Boys Latin nothing.
I think this is a situation you try to get about half of this back in one play. You could try to pass it deep down the field for that 20 yards, but you've not had success doing that. I think you try to get 10 here and 10 on the next one, 4-down territory.
Pistol formation again, 2 receivers to each side. Martinsburg sending pressure and linemen able to get them to jump as...
Well, that works too.
Just changes it back for another 5 yards. So 3rd and 15 again instead of 3rd and 20. Ball placed back at the 25-yard line of Boys Latin. Again, Martinsburg, though, looks like they want to send the pressure. Lineman sends a man in motion from left to right. Will hand it off to his running back, Gall, and Gall met right at the line of scrimmage, pushed back, and the whistle blows because of the forward progress, so no yards gained. It'll bring up 4th down. They say he lost one, so make it 4th and 16, and again the punt unit comes back out for Boys Latin.
That was a tackle for loss for Will Bass. Just got past the right guard. That Navy commit.
That was actually Thomason on the run, not Gall. I thought I saw 22, but that was 23 and on that run for Boys Latin.
Bass was able to get past Sean Crowley and kind of extend off with one arm and make the tackle with the other before he kind of disengaged and made the two-arm tackle.
6:15 to go in the second quarter. Omok on to punt for Boys Latin. Back to returns Musgrove and Clement. The punt goes deep back, and Clement can let it bounce. It rolls to the 30 on the far side and will be downed at the 29-yard line of Martinsburg, and that's where the Bulldogs will have a 1st and 10 with 6:05 to go in this second quarter, up 41-0 over the Lakers.
Well, at 6 minutes here, that's you would think time for even a couple more scoring drives if the offense stays the way that it's been going. I mean, this has been incredibly impressive. You know, they got 4 touchdowns in that first quarter, and it doesn't really feel like we've even seen the offense in this quarter. I mean, I know that we have, but it's been a punt return and a fumble recovery for a touchdown for the last 2 touchdowns here.
Martinsburg, at least for the wideout position, goes with the second string, but you still got Murphy Clement at quarterback, Coy Fegan out there with him in the first string offensive line, too, I believe. 10 seconds to go on the play clock as they are in formation. It's Clement with 3 receivers near side, 1 to the far. Hands it off to Fegan, and Fegan met for a loss as I believe that was for Boys Latin in on the big play. Number 34, Blake Griffith, again reading that one and going in untouched for a loss of 2 for Fegan. Bring up 2nd down and 12 for Martinsburg.
Well, they haven't really run the ball a whole lot in this first half. The story's really been Murphy Clement's 4 touchdown passes, but still 50 yards on the ground for Coy Fegan on just 7 carries so far. He had 6 for 52 before that one.
2nd down and 12, 5:25 to go in the second quarter. Ball at the 27 of Martinsburg. Matt gets the snap, fakes the handoff, rolls out to his left, and throws it to the near sideline. It's caught by the receiver, who breaks through a few tackles. Now out at the 40, breaks through another, out to the 45 on the near side, and finally being stopped. But a big play for Malachi Williams gives Martinsburg a 1st down.
How about that? It was tough to bring him down. 18-yard gain on the screen pass. A little RPO. Murphy Clement chooses to pull it away from Fegan, starts running outside. Then he has the bubble screen to look at with Williams, decides to throw the ball when he could have kept it himself if he also wanted to.
4:55 to go in the second quarter. 1st down and 10 for Martinsburg at its 45-yard line. 3 receivers on the far side of the field, 1 to the near side for Clement. Mike gets the snap, hands it off to his running back, and he'll go up the middle, as in on the carry was Nick Buskey, and Buskey out across the 50, tackled at Boys Latin's 49-yard line, so gain of 6 to bring up 2nd and 4.
You're already seeing a little more of that depth on the offense here. I mean, obviously, 41-0 makes sense. You would start to see some backups here. Maybe we start to see Buskey at running back, and then, you know, after a couple more drives of that, you see Fegan come back in at quarterback.
2nd down and 4. 4 minutes to go in this second quarter. It's Martinsburg 41, Boys Latin 0. 2 receivers to each side of Clement. He has Buskey in shotgun formation at his left at the 45-yard line. Line of scrimmage is the 49, and a flag thrown as the play clock hits zeros.
Delay game?
Never even realized it. It's a delay of game on the Bulldogs. That backs them up 5 yards, brings up now 2nd and 9 at the 44.
I mean, I realize what the score is, but with 4 minutes left in the first half, you have 55 penalty yards. Not to mention that there's probably some, offsetting or decline penalties in there from what we've seen.
2nd and 9, 3:40 to go. Snap to Clement, hands it off to Buskey, and Buskey busts through the middle out across the 40. He tripped up at the 37-yard line. Big play for Nick Buskey gives Martinsburg a 1st and 10 with 3:35 to go, in the second quarter.
The offensive line did a great job that time, just really opened up a hole on the right side, and he was able to get through. And then the middle of the defense just wasn't there. Linebackers kind of split out.
Now Coy Fegan enters at quarterback for Murphy Clement. He still has Buskey out there running back, 2 receivers to each side of him. 3 minutes to go. Fegan fakes the handoff, throws it to the near side for a bubble screen. The pass intended for the receiver Jameer Washington, in and out of his hands. It falls incomplete to bring up a 2nd and 10 at the 36 of Boys Latin.
I guess it makes sense. I thought maybe there'd be another drive or two before we saw Fegan, but I guess it makes sense. Get a couple plays of Fegan off the field, and then reset, get a QB wristband on him, and get back out there.
3:08 remains in the first half. It's Fegan in shotgun formation. Buskey lined up to the right, 2 receivers to each side. Snap back to Fegan, and he'll throw underneath the Buskey. Buskey on the far side goes up the middle now, and will just be grabbed by the foot, trying to slip out of it. And now a late hit out of bounds. No flag thrown, though, as things again getting a little chippy there.
I think there's going to be a holding call on this play.
Yeah, I see a flag at the line of scrimmage, but I thought we were going to get one more, as I believe that was E.J. Hendricks kind of continuing his block out of bounds and giving a little extra push after the whistle, but no flag there. But we do have a block in the back called against Martinsburg, so that'll push the Bulldogs back, and we'll see where they mark it. You got 3 minutes exactly remaining in the second quarter. Bulldogs up 41-0 on top of the Boys Latin Lakers out of Baltimore, Maryland.
It hasn't really mattered, but they haven't been that disciplined team that I put as one of my keys for this in the beginning. The penalties, and they haven't turned the ball over at the very least.
2nd and 20 now at the 46, still in Laker territory. Fegan gets the snap. He'll keep it himself, run up the middle, slips through, and out across the 35 will be tackled at the 33-yard line. So a gain of 13 brings up now 3rd down and 7 for Martinsburg with 2.5 to go in the second quarter.
That's a great play there. Be able to make it 3rd and manageable on a running play when you had 2nd and 20.
On the 33-yard line of the Lakers. 2:15 to go in the second quarter. Fegan with Buskey to his left, 3 receivers near side, 1 to the far side. Snap back to Fegan. He hands it off to Buskey. Buskey inside zone read now. Finds a hole up the middle. Follows his block. Spins past the tackle. Out across the 15. Inside the red zone. 1st and 10 Martinsburg as Buskey stopped at the 13-yard line. So a 20-yard rush for Nick Buskey. He's putting his name into the stat book tonight in a positive way so far this drive.
He's done a really good job of just hitting the hole and getting up the top speed quickly. The offensive line's done a great job of giving him the space to maneuver. On his 3 carries, he's got 43 yards.
Yeah, great job so far by Hendricks, Breeden, Kaufman, I believe Weller, now Wes Hancock out there too. 1.5 minutes to go. It's 1st and 10 Martinsburg. Fegan will keep it himself on the direct snap, go to the far side, jukes past 1 tackle at the 5. Will be pushed backwards. They say forward progress was given at the 3, but a flag thrown at the line of scrimmage. It's a holding on Martinsburg. That'll negate the play and back things up, keep it 1st down, but make it 1st and 20 now as Martinsburg goes out of the red zone just slightly because of the holding.
Got 75 penalty yards in the first half. Like I said, it hasn't mattered, but you haven't been disciplined.
Minute 25 to go in the second quarter. It's 41-0. Martinsburg leads Boys Latin. Fegan at quarterback. Now after Murphy Clement was taken out a few plays ago during this drive. Not for an injury, just to swap him out as it's a big lead for the Bulldogs. Fegan has Buskey to his left, 3 receivers near side, 1 to the far side for Coy. Coy gets the snap, drops back, looks to Buskey. Buskey with a screen, and it's read by Boys Latin. They stop him for a loss of 5, and that brings up second down and 25 now with under a minute to go before halftime. 50 seconds on the clock, and it's winding down.
Yeah, I think, let's see here, second down, I think you can get 2 more plays in. If you want to rush it, you can get more.
All right, you got 20 seconds left on the play clock, 35 on the game clock. And Martinsburg not really picking up the tempo, kind of just letting this one go out, but we'll see. They're still taking a play. Fegan drops back the pass, rolls to his right, looking downfield, throws it over and out of the sideline. Goes out of play, incomplete, brings up 3rd and 25 with 21 seconds to go for Martinsburg here in the first half.
He tried to go to that play, a corner route about 20 yards down the field. He kind of hesitated, had him open for a little bit as he was on the run, but he kind of double clutched it, wasn't sure if he could make the throw, and then he tried it, overthrew it as the defender got a little closer. So it's something we'll see as Fegan, takes over maybe next year for Clement. Get more comfortable passing the ball.
Ball's at the 27, so probably too far back for a field goal. It's 3rd and 25. Fegan drops back, looking to pass, now steps up in the pocket, and he's hit from behind, loses the ball. I'll say his arm was going forward, so it's an incomplete pass instead of a fumble, as falling on top of that one was Ridgely Ritter for Boys Latin, but instead it's a 4th down and 25 at the 27 of the Lakers with 15 seconds to go in this second quarter. Looks like the offense for Martinsburg might stay out there for one final heave as they lead Boys Latin 41-0. Fegan gets the call from Walker.
They might have to call a timeout or delay a game here. Take the delay a game.
Yeah, 10 seconds on the play clock as they break the huddle. Martinsburg now trying to go quickly into formation. It's the snap off in time. Fegan drops back the pass, feels the pressure, chucks it deep to the near side. Jump ball, and is it picked off? They're fighting for it. Let's see who came down with it. And they say it's an interception, as still trying to battle is Kyrie Bunny with the defender. But it's an interception, and I believe making the INT was Liam White for Boys Latin.
Fegan is the backup quarterback, but he spent a lot of his time and energy being the starting running back, in this game included. And he's been quarterback before, at the lower levels, not the varsity level, but before this year. But his specialty is running the ball. Like I said, as time goes on, you put him in situations like this, you call plays like that in these situations to try to get him some game experience throwing the ball deep. But that's just something that will develop over time.
Weinman in at quarterback, 1st and 10, ball on the 20 for Boys Latin. And it's a screen pass to the far side. Weinman's throw overthrown to Mason Prout. In and out of his hands, it goes incomplete. 4 seconds left on the clock in this second quarter. So one more play expected for Boys Latin, and we'll see what they do. With the 2nd and 10 on its 20-yard line.
I think you just try to do something. I don't know if you run the ball.
You got 3 receivers on the far side, 1 to the near side for Weinman. Weinman drops back, another screen pass to the far side, and slipping through the tackle, it's caught now. And that is Liam White picking up the first down, a gain of 11. So the best play of the half to end things for the Boys Latin Lakers. But we have hit the half. It's Martinsburg in a big lead over Boys Latin at 41-0. As both teams head to the locker rooms, it looks like our sideline reporter Matt Miller is with Coach Dave Walker. So, Matt, take it away.
Thanks, guys. Coach, a dominating first half. Let's start with up front. I heard your comments before the game. You had to win in the trenches. What are you seeing there?
I think we're playing pretty well up front. I think we jumped on them real early, then we kind of let the gas off. We're not playing with a lot of intensity and making a lot of mistakes. So, but, yeah, no, I mean, we're doing what we're supposed to do.
You mentioned jumping on him early. How about the start for Murphy Clement, especially throwing the football?
Yeah, I mean, he got the ball there. He probably could have, there's some things that I'd like to see better. But, no, he's doing a good job, and I think they are. We need just, a couple stupid penalties. We've had a lot of mistakes, and then had a young man run on the field, get ejected. I'm not happy about some of it, but obviously I'm happy about the score, but I'm not happy about the way we're playing.
How about the fact you've scored in all three facets?
Yeah, I mean, we're a pretty good football team, and we're doing what we're supposed to do, but we need to clean it up. We're sloppy, so we need to clean it up.
That'll be the message at the half.
It sure will.
Have fun. All right. Guys, back to you.
Thank you to Matt Miller as well as Coach Walker, and we'll step aside, take a 2-minute break here on the other side of that break. Be back for our halftime show. Again, Martinsburg in the lead 41-0 over Boys Latin. You're tuned into West Virginia High School football and Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10 back in 2 minutes.
This is Eric at Hancock Chevrolet. Over the last decade, the way we buy things have evolved. Now, you get on your phone, click Want It, and it shows up at your front door. At Hancock Chevrolet, it is that easy. We've changed the car buying experience on the I-81 corridor forever. And with a return policy better than Walmart, there's absolutely no reason to buy a new or used car, truck, or SUV anywhere else. Just like Amazon, Hancock Chevrolet will deliver the vehicle to you, where you are, and on your time. And if you don't want it, return it. No questions asked. Why waste your time in a car dealership playing the dumb back-and-forth games? Besides, we hate it more than you do. I assure you, no dealership from Winchester, Virginia to Washington, D.C. will beat our price. No dealership from Cumberland to Baltimore, Maryland will beat our price. And no other dealership will allow you to return it if you don't want it. Hancock Chevrolet absolutely provides the best experience at the best price. Visit HancockChevy.com to schedule your VIP experience. Click on the vehicle you want, and your new ride will be delivered to you at no risk.
See dealer for details.
Ollie's VIP North Side is the best spot to catch all your favorite teams. Join us Monday for Dollar Wings and Monday Night Football, Thursdays on the patio for the Cornhole Tourney, Friday night lights with happy hour specials, or Saturdays during or after the college games for steak night. Get a ribeye or New York steak for just $26.95. Ollie's has great food and drink menus too, along with 17 TVs to watch any game of your choice from anywhere at the bar or their outdoor patio and fire pit. So stop by and see for yourself today at 36 Veronica Drive in Martinsburg. That's Ollie's VIP North Side. We'll see you for the game.
The Skinner family has been representing West Virginians for more than 50 years.
We've changed the name of our firm to Skinner Accident and Injury Lawyers because we want to be clear about what we do. We represent people who have been in car, truck, and other catastrophic accidents.
We're here to be a voice for the injured and vulnerable, and we take that job seriously with deep commitment to serving our clients wherever they are.
Just Google Skinner Accident Lawyer or visit SkinnerWins.com. We'll treat you like family.
We welcome you back to Coburn Field at David M. Walker Stadium as we've reached halftime. Martinsburg 41, Boys Latin nothing is your score. Colin McLaughlin here for Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10. Dylan Bishop, my color commentator. Our on-site producers, John Alderton, sideline reporter / cameramans Matt Miller. Daryl Miller is our main cameraman and back of the studio, who you'll hear from in a little bit, is Nick Ferzolini, as we welcome into the halftime show brought to you by the Mansion Ferretti Law Firm in Martinsburg, where it's about seeking justice for you. Go to wvjusticelawyers.com before we get into our first half stats, as Dylan's still finishing it up. I want to make a quick announcement for the second half. After our interview with Coach Walker, great job there by Matt Miller doing so. He met with the officials as well as the head coach and Tony Renato of Boys Latin, and the coaches have agreed to shorten the second half since it's a big lead right now at 41-0, Martinsburg on top. So, with that being said, the third quarter will be 8 minutes instead of 12 minutes. The fourth quarter will also be 8 minutes, and the fourth quarter only will have the running clock still in effect because of the mercy rule in the state of West Virginia. Looks like Dylan's ready to go. Let's get our first half stats brought to you by the Larry DeMarco team at Modern Realty Results. If you're looking for a home in the tri-state area, they have you covered.
Yeah, let's start with Murphy Clement. Done for the day, more than likely, unless the score changes a whole lot. 8 for 10, 182 yards, and 4 passing touchdowns. That's all of the offensive touchdowns for the day. Great passing from him so far. Added in 4 carries for 20 yards. Also had an interception on the defensive side in the first half. Coy Fagan, 8 carries for 63 yards. Some of those coming at the end when he was switched over to quarterback. Nick Buskey, backup running back, now in. 4 carries for 40 yards for himself. Sarad Musgrove, 2 catches for 68 yards and a receiving touchdown and a punt return touchdown. And then Cash Gideon, 3 catches, 74 yards, 2 receiving touchdowns. Tyon Jacobs, 1 catch for a 10-yard touchdown. And on the boys Latin side, it's been a defensive clinic for the Bulldogs. It's been 1 of 6 for 11 yards and an interception for Weinman, quarterback for boys Latin. 0 for 1 went Franchella, the other quarterback. And then Radit, the running back for boys Latin, 8 carries for -2 yards. And I think that's a total of -1 total yards rushing for boys Latin. They end up with 10 total on the last play of the half. They get an 11-yard screen pass to get themselves positive yardage for the entire half. That was, they had a couple 2 or 3 yard runs, but that was their best play right there. Again, 10 total yards of offense for boys Latin.
Yeah, we talked about it before the start of this one. Can Martinsburg exploit the inexperience and the youth of the boys Latin Lakers? And so far, the Bulldogs have done just that. Let's step aside again here on the Mansion Ferretti halftime show for a 2-minute break, and then on the other side of that break, you'll hear from Nick Verzolini with our Extra Point halftime scoreboard show. Here at the half, it's Martinsburg 41, boys Latin nothing. You're tuned into West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and TV10.
After a car accident, what do you get when you call Mansion Ferretti?
You get more experience from a local law firm with over 115 years of combined service.
More respect from a team who treats clients like their own family.
And more fight, because we want you to get every dollar you deserve.
Experience, respect, results. If you've been injured, that's what you want in your lawyer.
And that's what you'll get when you call us. Car accident? Get more with Mansion Ferretti. 304-264-8505.
The Palace Lounge in Martinsburg is the place to be. Join us every night to relax and enjoy football or basketball games featuring either the Martinsburg Bulldogs, Shepherd University Rams, or West Virginia Mountaineers. We will have steak night every Wednesday, trip nights every Thursday, and now taco and margarita nights every Tuesday. You can find us on Facebook or call 304-267-7520. The Palace Lounge is located at 1350 Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg.
My kids, you know I want the best for you, don't you? We need to have a conversation.
End-of-life planning is no one's favorite discussion, but the relief of having everything in place when the hour of need arrives is a gift. Give it to your family. Plan ahead with us.
Brown Funeral Homes, a leading provider of cremations, invites you to explore the many flexible options of cremation. From environmental considerations to the benefit of greatly reduced cost, it may be the perfect answer for your family. Online at brownfuneralhomeswv.com. Brown Funeral Homes, here for you.
Remember when you were a little kid and saw your first deer?
Oh, how cute.
As an adult, maybe you've had a different experience.
Where'd that come from?
Bambi mess up your dream machine? Call Cody's Auto Body today at 304-901-4777 and get the work done right the first time. Cody's Auto Body, 851 Wilston Street in Martinsburg, has a team of auto body professionals with a lifetime of experience putting your ride back together again, regardless of how it got that way. Cody's Auto Body.
We welcome you into the halftime scoreboard show. I'm your host, Nick Verzolini, here at the half. Martinsburg all over boys Latin, as we expected in this one. Bulldogs winning 41-0. Potentially an upset here. We knew Hampshire had gotten better, and the Trojans right now in the second quarter, last updated, hold a 7-0 lead over the Hedgesville Eagles. Some other EPAC scores. Morgantown just extended its lead over Musselman to 10-6. No score reported between Washington and Frankfort. And then last night, Spring Mills went up to South Hagerstown and got a dominating win. 39-14. In other scores from around the state, George Washington Hurricane going at it tonight. GW has 7 and Hurricane has 7. They're tied at the half. Parkersburg South all over Woodrow Wilson right now, 28-6. Princeton leads Oak Hill 7-0. Brooke is leading University right now, 7-3 at the half, and then Bridgeport cruising to a victory over John Marshall, looks like 36-3 the score there. We'll take another look at those EPAC scores and then run down some other scores from across the state. Parkersburg leading South Charleston 35-0. Tomorrow should be a good one between Cabell Midland and Ironton, Ohio. 3-0 Ironton travels to Cabell Midland tomorrow. Of course, Jefferson in action tomorrow at 1 p.m. against Spring Valley. Bridgeport has extended that lead now to 43-3 over John Marshall. Bluefield taking on Greenbrier East tonight. No score reported there. Both teams 0-2. Ripley taking on Lincoln County tomorrow. And Riverside leading St. Albans in the early part of that one, 12-0. Berkeley Springs, no score reported in their game against East Fairmont down at AA. Of course, tomorrow on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube, we will have Shepherd Rams football for you as the Rams head to Edinboro. That is a noon kickoff, 11:30 a.m. pregame show. And, of course, on Talk Radio WRNR, pregame coverage beginning around 3 p.m. We'll have West Virginia Mountaineers football as the Mountaineers play their home opener against Duquesne. 6 p.m. kickoff. You can listen to that game right here on 106.5 FM and AM 740. Should be a good win for the Mountaineers in that one. But again, our score at the half, Martinsburg 41, Boys Latin nothing. This is West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10.
This is Eric at Hancock Chevrolet. Over the last decade, the way we buy things have evolved. Now, you get on your phone, click Want It, and it shows up at your front door. At Hancock Chevrolet, it is that easy. We've changed the car buying experience on the I-81 corridor forever. And with a return policy better than Walmart, there's absolutely no reason to buy a new or used car, truck, or SUV anywhere else. Just like Amazon, Hancock Chevrolet will deliver the vehicle to you, where you are, and on your time. And if you don't want it, return it. No questions asked. Why waste your time in a car dealership playing the dumb back-and-forth games? Besides, we hate it more than you do. I assure you, no dealership from Winchester, Virginia to Washington, D.C. will beat our price. No dealership from Cumberland to Baltimore, Maryland will beat our price. And no other dealership will allow you to return it if you don't want it. Hancock Chevrolet absolutely provides the best experience at the best price. Visit HancockChevy.com to schedule your VIP experience. Click on the vehicle you want, and your new ride will be delivered to you at no risk.
See dealer for details.
Nothing goes better with football than chicken. From Pee-wee to the big boys to the wing T formation. A hearty meal of 12 pieces for $12 is just what the boys need to be at their best. Oh my, fumbling, bumbling, stumbling.
Omaha!
Rock's 12 pieces of chicken, just $12.
Ollie's VIP North Side is the best spot to catch all your favorite teams. Join us Monday for Dollar Wings and Monday Night Football, Thursdays on the patio for the Cornhole Tourney, Friday Night Lights with happy hour specials, or Saturdays during or after the college games for Steak Night. Get a ribeye or New York steak for just $26.95. Ollie's has great food and drink menus too, along with 17 TVs to watch any game of your choice from anywhere at the bar or their outdoor patio and fire pit. So stop by and see for yourself today at 36 Veronica Drive in Martinsburg. That's Ollie's VIP North Side. We'll see you for the game.
Welcome you back to Coburn Field at David M. Walker Stadium. Under 6 minutes until second half kickoff here as Martinsburg leads 41-0 over the Boys Latin Lakers. As we mentioned earlier, kind of a new mercy rule type deal is what the two coaches have agreed upon here for the second half. So due to the large lead for Martinsburg and just the dominating performance so far, both teams have agreed to 8-minute quarters for this second half, and then in the fourth quarter will be a running clock as well, so expect a quick second half here and some backups potentially on both sides of the ball to make an appearance as well, Dylan, as it's been a great night for Martinsburg so far, as they've definitely kind of just been outmatching the boys Latin Lakers.
Yeah, it's been a dominant defensive performance. Like we mentioned, only 10 total offensive yards for boys Latin, and that was on the last play of the half, an 11-yard screen pass. There was that -1 before that, and that's their final tally right now when it comes to rushing yardage. It was their only completion. And on the offensive side for Martinsburg, it was a passing clinic on the only 10 attempts that Murphy Clement had. Completed 8 of them, almost 200 yards, had 182, 4 passing touchdowns, punt return touchdown, fumble return for a touchdown by Xerxes Yancey, his second defensive touchdown. I mean, you can't play much better than you did, other than the fact that you didn't stay disciplined. You had 75 penalty yards, you had a player ejected, so that stuff needs to be cleaned up for more so for future games, so you don't have that happen in a game that, you know, it's close the entire way where it can make a difference. But all in all, aside from that, fantastic.
So, as I mentioned earlier, a shortened second half, and with that we want to make sure we get our ads in. So let's step aside here, take a 3-minute break, just so that we can get our ads in. And on the other side of that 3-minute break, we'll be back for the second half kickoff. Again, a 3-minute break, Nick. You are tuned into West Virginia High School Football on Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV10.
As a lifelong Jefferson County resident, Paul Espinosa has been a champion for the Eastern Panhandle. Paul is the effective, fiscally conservative voice we need in the West Virginia Senate. He's fought for job creation, student-centered education, the rights of the unborn, protecting our family farms, and was a leader in passing income tax relief for all West Virginians. When residents of the 16th Senatorial District cast their votes for their next senator, the choice is clear. Paul Espinosa for West Virginia State Senate. Paid for by Espinosa for Senate, Mary C. Espinosa, Treasurer.
Let's go! Drink some beers! Mountaineer Grill and Pub!
Mountaineer Grill and Pub offers many daily specials, including Trivia Night Monday, Karaoke Tuesday, Steak Night Wednesday and Sunday, Thursday night Boneless Wing Night, and on Friday and Saturday nights there'll be a DJ and or karaoke. And remember, Monday through Friday, happy hour, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., $2 domestic bottles and $2.50 domestic drafts.
Let's go! Drink some beers! Mountaineer Grill and Pub!
Laura. Hey, Laura. What's with the sunglasses? Ouch!
The word is spreading. Bechtel Jewelers is home to some dangerously brilliant diamonds.
See the difference at Bechtel Jewelers in Inwood. Sunglasses not included.
W. Harley Miller Systems understands the need and desire for reliable and affordable smart home solutions. Secure your home with a security system and keep a close eye on your family. Automate your home with a Control4 system and have smart technology work as one. Set daily schedules to control your thermostats. Push a button and set the mood for dinner by dimming lights and playing music, or just sit back and enjoy a movie in your own home theater. Put decades of experience to work for you. Visit us at WHMsystems.com or call 304-350-1931. Ollie's VIP North Side is the best spot to catch all your favorite teams. Join us Monday for Dollar Wings and Monday Night Football, Thursdays on the patio for the Cornhole Tourney, Friday Night Lights with happy hour specials, or Saturdays during or after the college games for Steak Night. Get a ribeye or New York steak for just $26.95. Ollie's has great food and drink menus too, along with 17 TVs to watch any game of your choice from anywhere at the bar or their outdoor patio and fire pit. So stop by and see for yourself today at 36 Veronica Drive in Martinsburg. That's Ollie's VIP North Side. We'll see you for the game.
We welcome you back here as it's 41-0 at the half between Martinsburg and Boys Latin, as your Bulldogs on top of the Lakers. Both teams have made their ways out of the locker rooms and back to the field on their respected sidelines. The captains will go out to meet at midfield one more time to kind of just go over some things quickly before we resume action, as it's been all Bulldogs so far. Your second half kickoff is brought to you by Ollie's VIP Northside, the best local spot to catch sports or hang out with friends. Stop by 36 Veronica Drive in Martinsburg. Ollie's VIP. We'll see you for the game. Again, for those that might just be tuning in, instead of 12-minute quarters, the two head coaches have agreed to make it 8-minute quarters here, with the fourth quarter being a rolling clock. So 8-minute quarters here for the third and fourth quarter, as the two speaking captains go out to meet at midfield for Martinsburg. It is E.J. Hendricks and Tyrell Moore for Boys Latin. Colin McLaughlin here for Talk Radio WRNR and TV10. Dylan Bishop alongside me. Our on-site producer is John Alderton, as I keep my mouth shut as to what I was seeing on the far side in the sky, so hopefully the officials don't pick it up as well. But to continue here, Daryl Miller, Matt Miller, our cameraman, and back in the studio, Nick Verzolini, and kind of let it slip there. But there's lightning in the area, but it seems like it's far enough away to where hopefully it does not cause a stoppage of play or a delay in this one. So
yeah, we're on a little bit of an elevation over here at Coburn Field, so you can kind of see out in the distance a little further, so it's hard to really tell how close it is. That's weather radar stuff I don't have in front of me here, but if it gets close enough, we'll know, because play will stop.
Yeah, it's kind of been fortunate here for the Bulldogs, as we were under severe thunderstorm watch until 11 in the Martinsburg area, but for the most part here at Coburn Field, it's been dry. We had a few sprinkles earlier, a brief moment of some heavy-ish rain, nothing too extreme to soak the turf field, but so far so good. And here we go. Second half kickoff. On to kickoff is Martinsburg, as it's a short end-over-end kick that is fair caught at the 36-yard line, as that pooch kick caught by Cameron Frank for Boys Latin, and it'll be a 1st and 10 for the Lakers to start off the third quarter.
Looking to see who's coming out on the field. I see the starting defensive line. Just kind of interested to see how much longer we see guys like that, because obviously right before the half we saw Coy Fagan come in at quarterback, Nick Buskey at running back, wide receivers all kind of traded out.
For the most part, it's majority starters out there on the defensive end for Martinsburg, and same for Boys Latin on the offensive side, as Dougie Weinman in at quarterback. And snap to Weinman. He looks to the far side and overthrows his receiver on the screen, as that pass intended for Liam White goes way over his head to the far sideline. It goes incomplete to bring up 2nd and 10 at the 36 of the Lakers. 7:55 to go in this third quarter.
Passing game just hasn't worked.
Yeah, it's just been a tough day for both quarterbacks, it seems like. And Dougie Weinman had a pretty good first game, going 7 of 11 for 3 touchdowns, but tonight has been a different story, as he hands the ball off to his running back, and his running back tries to go up the middle. His forward progress stopped for a gain, and then picked up and brought back by Martinsburg, the linebacker Terrell Cofield, as in on the carry was Xavier Thomas. So that brings up 3rd and 9 with 7.5 remaining in this third quarter.
On the matter of the running back, that's about all they've been able to get going.
This Boys Latin breaks the huddle. You have Weinman in shotgun formation, his running back to his left, 2 receivers to each side. Snap back from Bagby to Weinman. Weinman play action pass in and out of the hands of their intended receiver. Almost picked off, as that pass intended for Prout through his hands and almost intercepted by Dover, but it goes through his hands and incomplete, so that sends the punt unit back out for Boys Latin. So another quick 3 and out for the Lakers. 7:10 to go in this third quarter. Ball at the 36 of Boys Latin. It's Martinsburg 41, Boys Latin nothing. On to punt is Will Omock back to return. It's Musgrove and Clement as they're lined up at Martinsburg's 26-yard line. Will mock the punt from his 25. Punt deep, end over end, coming forward and fair catching. It's Clement, and he'll catch it at the 35-yard line for Martinsburg. It'll be a 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs from there here in this third quarter of play with 7:07 to go.
Murphy Clement's coming back out on the field, which I'm a little surprised about.
Yeah, I am too. It looks like they have Clement at quarterback, Fegan at running back, Bunny in at wide receiver, Dover in at wide receiver. Trying to see
Gets
Cash
Gideon and Musgrove.
And Musgrove, so first string out there for Martinsburg. Is they lead 41-0 with 7:07 to go in this third quarter. 1st and 10 at the 35 for the Bulldogs. Clement sends Gideon in motion from left to right, gets the snap, pitches it back, halfback toss to Fegan. Fegan on the far side, breaks through, off to the races on the far sideline. He goes out across the 30 at the 20, and he steps out of bounds at the 25-yard line, they say. But a big gain for Martinsburg on the first play of this drive. Make it a, I believe, 40-yard gain. First down Martinsburg with 6:59 to go in this third quarter.
And make it over 100 yards on the ground for Fegan on just his 9th carry. Up to 103.
The 1st and 10 at the 25 of Boys Latin for Martinsburg. They spot the ball. The clock at 6:59 in this third quarter. Stopped right now, waiting for it to start ticking down. Got 2 receivers to each side of Clement. Clement gets a snap, dropping back the pass, looking to the near side, steps up in the pocket, fires a dart across the middle, through the hands of the defender, Liam White, almost into the hands of the receiver, but it falls incomplete. So that brings up 2nd and 10. Ball still at the 25 with 6:53 to go in this third quarter.
After going 8 for 10 in the first half, it's first really bad pass by Clement so far. If he put a little more air under it, he might have been able to get it over to the receiver in the end zone, but kind of threw it as he was kind of twisting, didn't really have his feet set, and threw it a little too low. Should have been picked off.
2nd down and 10. 41-0 Martinsburg leads Boys Latin. The snap back, handoff to Fegan. Fegan up the middle at the 5, and he'll be stopped just shy of the goal line. A huge run there for Cooley Fegan of 24 yards as he stopped at the 1.5 yard line. 1st and goal, Martinsburg. That was a simple inside zone up the middle.
Yeah, and again, the offensive line just road grading over here, clearing out big holes.
Martinsburg going quickly. Clement gets the snap, hands it off to Fegan. Fegan up the middle and easily makes his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Bulldogs. They now lead 47-0 over the Lakers of Boys Latin with 6:44 to go in this third quarter.
I mean, it's about pretty quick work there. One pass play that, you could say you're trying to run down the clock by running the ball. When the running game works that effectively, it doesn't actually run much time off the clock because you're just going down the field and getting in the end zone.
Page on to attempt the extra point. Fegan on to hold after scoring the touchdown. The PAT's up, and it is good to make it now 48-0 Martinsburg here in this third quarter with 6:44 to go. The Bulldogs on top of the Lakers. We'll step aside and take a 1-minute break. You're tuned into West Virginia High School Football on Talk Radio WRNR and TV10.
At Dutch Miller Automotive, we've grown quite a bit over the last 60 years, but our core principles remain the same. We believe in treating our customers and our team members like friends and family, and we see it as our obligation to give back to all the communities we are so fortunate to do business in. In just West Virginia alone, we've grown from one location on the west end of Huntington to 10 rooftops employing more than 500 Mountaineers. Check out the inventory from all of our stores at DutchMillerAuto.com. Dutch Miller Automotive Group, West Virginia proud.
Radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer deaths in the United States each year. But do you know the radon levels in your home? Home is a place to live, love, and laugh, not a place to breathe air containing radon. The Berkeley and Morgan County Health Departments are distributing free confidential radon test kits, and you can get yours at the Berkeley County Health Department office in Martinsburg and the Morgan County Health Department office in Berkeley Springs. Protect your home and family. Get your free radon test kit today.
Welcome back here as it's now 48-0. Martinsburg leads Boys Latin. Page the kickoff. It's a pooch kick, high end over end, that is caught at the 30-yard line by Prout. Prout for the Lakers brings it upfield, goes towards the middle of the field, and he'll be stopped out across the 35 at the 36-yard line. It'll be another 1st and 10 for Boys Latin.
Yeah, Martinsburg's made it 48-0 now on a 4-play, 65-yard drive. All 65 of those yards on the ground from Coy Fagan, ends it with a 1-yard touchdown.
Scoring drive summary brought to you by Paul Espinosa for State Senate, an effective fiscally conservative voice for the 16th District. 1st and 10 for Boys Latin at its 37-yard line, 6:38 to go in this third quarter. Dougie Weinman, the senior quarterback, out on the field, 2 receivers to each side of him. He has a running back to his left. Sends man in motion from left to right. Does Weinman, gets the snap, fakes the handoff. Instead, he actually gives it to Jacobs. Jacobs breaks through 1 tackle, but now the rest of the Bulldogs joining the party to bring him down for a loss on the play of 3 yards, as that brings up now 2nd and 13. Your third quarter brought to you by the Mirius Group and Ameriprise Financial Advisors, John Everson and Phil McCoy. Stop by 1270 Winchester Avenue in Martinsburg, or call them at 304-263-4343, as well as the Larry DeMarco team at Modern Realty Results. If you're looking for a home in the tri-state area, they got you covered. So 2nd down and 14 at the 34-yard line for Boys Latin, under 6 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Snap back to Weinman, he drops back, fires a quick pass to the near side. It's caught by the receiver, Iridos. Iridos is tackled just shy of the 40, so a gain of 3 makes it now 3rd down, and they say he got to the 40, so forward progress gain, so kind of change that. It's a gain of 6, make it 3rd down and 7. Wasn't sure if they were going to give him forward progress or if they were going to say that he kind of moved himself back there. Nonetheless, 3rd down and 7 at the 40 of the Lakers. 5 minutes, 15 seconds to go in this third quarter as Boys Latin breaks the huddle. Weinman with Jacobs to his left, to receivers to each side. Weinman, quick slant up the middle, and it's broken up right at the last second. Great diving effort there for the Bulldogs as Brian Dick, the freshman, breaking up that pass to bring up a 4th down.
See, now we're starting to see some of these second-string guys get out there. You see the defensive line. Having some of their guys, Cade Marshall, Braden Edwards, group, that second string of guys getting in the game.
That pass intended for Prout, I believe, as now back to return will be Dover and Musgrove instead of Murphy, Clement, and Musgrove. On to punt. It's Omock. Omock's punt. High spiraling kick to the near side. It'll bounce at the 30. Roll to the 25 to the near sideline. It goes out of bounds at the 25-yard line of Martinsburg with 4:54 to go in this third quarter. It's Martinsburg 48, Boys Latin nothing. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs offense at the 25 for them, and it looks like freshman quarterback Brian Dick will now lead the offense too.
All right, so I understand that, kind of getting Coy Fagan out of the game altogether, because he is your starting running back. So it's one thing, you want to get your backup quarterback some reps, but...
And at the last second, they switched Dick out and put Fagan back in.
All right, fair enough.
So Fagan back in at quarterback instead of Brian Dick.
I wouldn't doubt if we see that after another drive or two.
You have Buskey at running back, 2 receivers to each side of Fagan. Play clock already down to 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2. They get the snap just barely inside. Buskey gets the handoff from Fagan. He goes up the middle, now tries to bounce out to the near side. He goes out across the 30, be wrapped up and stopped at the 32-yard line. A gain of 7 on the play brings up 2nd down and 3 with 4:40 to go in this third quarter.
He's been running the ball well. very well. 5 carries, 47 yards.
Pregame gets the play call on the near side from Walker before going out into the huddle of Martinsburg. They break the huddle now and get into formation. 4:20 to go in this third quarter. It's Martinsburg 48. Nothing for Boys Latin so far. 2 receivers on each side of Pregame. He's got Buskey to his left. Low snap. He hands it off. Buskey goes up the middle. Lunges forward. Gets tripped up by Proud out across the 40 at the 43-yard line. So a 10-yard run makes it first down Martinsburg with 4 minutes to go in the third.
Again, the offensive line, I think even with some, let me see here if we've gotten some backups in on the offensive line. I see Will Bass out there, so there's at least one. I think we've gotten, pretty much entire shift of the offensive line. Cade Marshall at center.
Marshall snaps it back. Fegan dropping back the pass, looks to the near side. It's a screen caught by Kyrie Bunny on the near side. He has blockers in front of him. Out across the 50s, Bunny to the 48-yard line. Is that enough for a first down? Looking to the far side. To me, it looks like he does. We'll wait to see if they send the change forward, and they do. It's a 10-yard pickup, first down Martinsburg with 3:15 to go in the third quarter.
Good to see Kyrie Bunny getting into the box score.
And now Fegan will go out, and Brian Dick, the freshman quarterback, will check in.
There we go.
Dick with Buskey to his right as 3 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side. Snap. He hands it off to Buskey. Buskey jukes past 1 tackle, tries to slip through the second, but he's able to be grabbed by Omok and brings him down for a 7-yard gain just shy of the 40 at the 41-yard line of Boys Latin with 2:40 to go in this third quarter. Brings up a 2nd down and 3.
2nd down, 3, the 41-yard line.
So some more JV guys going in and out here as Dick gets the call from the near side and jogs out to the huddle.
And there goes Buskey to the sidelines. We'll see even someone else getting some snaps. At running back, looks like Marcus Shantz.
And whistle blows as the referee now points to the sky, and I think they're now actually going to call for a lightning delay. Even though it's been in the area this entire time, it's not gotten any closer. The official finally saw it. So now we're going to signal over for, I believe, a trainer or somebody to come and show them the radar, figure things out. Hopefully we have no delay, but 2 minutes, 22 seconds to go in this third quarter. It's Martinsburg 48, Boys Latin nothing, as coaches and everybody else now talking with the officials, and the officials shaking their heads in displeasure. Walker trying to say, let's keep playing, and I think we're going to keep playing.
I guess it wasn't close enough on the radar.
Not too sure, but it is 2nd down and 3 at the 41-yard line of Boys Latin. So, a game goes on. 25 seconds on the play clock. It has not started yet as the official now goes and talks with Boys Latin's coaches, and the clock starts to wind down. It's at 2:20 to go here in this third quarter. Dick at quarterback. 3 receivers on the far side, 1 to the near side. Snap back to Dick. He hands it off to his running back. Going up the middle is Marcus Shantz, and Shantz gets the first down out across the 40, just shy of the 35. They say he's down at the 36. It's first down Martinsburg with 2 minutes to go in this third quarter.
It's a nice run by Shantz. They tried to bring some weak side pressure there. That did Boys Latin. And didn't quite get there because the run went to the right. It was coming from the Martinsburg left side.
Nice to see the senior and Shantz in on the carry as Martinsburg breaks the huddle. It's the freshman Dick still in at quarterback. He's got a good arm. I was watching him in practice yesterday. Let's see if they can let him test it out, as instead he hands it off to Shantz, and Shantz again just runs it up the middle for a gain of 3 to bring up 2nd and 7 out across the 36. They say he was stopped at the, I believe, 33-yard line.
I don't know if we'll see any more of Buskey, but if we don't, I should say, he ends up with 7 carries, for 64 yards.
And I heard Donna Schaffner going crazy down below us because checking in at running back now is her son, Colin Schaffner. So Colin Schaffner now in at running back as Donna, an employee with us at Talk Radio WRNR, as Schaffner lined up to Dick's left. Got 3 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side. A handoff to Schaffner. Schaffner up the middle, lowers his shoulder, and he's able to pick up the first down for Martinsburg as he's tackled at the 25-yard line. So a gain of 8 on the 3rd and 7 makes it 1st and 10 Martinsburg with 45 seconds to go in this third quarter. It's Martinsburg 48, Boys Latin nothing.
It was a good run there on 3rd down, no less, to be able to pick up 8 on a 3rd and 7. Just did what you're supposed to do at a running back. Find the hole and just put your head down and run straight, power through a tackle, and he was able to do it. Got himself up a couple extra yards, got past the first down marker.
Ball at the 25-yard line of the Lakers as Martinsburg breaks the huddle with 20 seconds to go in this third quarter. Play clock down to 8, so they have to get this one in. 3 receivers near side, 1 to the far side for Dick. He's got Schaffner to his right. Snap to Dick, hands it off to Schaffner. Schaffner goes up the middle, slips through 1 tackle, but he's only going to gain 1 this time as a few other linemen able to wrap him up and bring him down. And that's going to be the end of our third quarter here at Coburn Field in David M. Walker Stadium. Your score, Martinsburg 48, Boys Latin nothing. Let's step aside, take a 1-minute break, and then we'll be back for the fourth quarter. You're tuned into West Virginia High School Football and Talk Radio WRNR TV 10.
After a car accident, what do you get when you call Mansion Ferretti?
You get more experience from a local law firm with over 115 years of combined service.
More respect from a team who treats clients like their own family.
And more fight, because we want you to get every dollar you deserve.
Experience, respect, results. If you've been injured, that's what you want in your lawyer.
And that's what you'll get when you call us. Car accident? Get more with Mansion Ferretti. 304-264-8505.
The Honda HR-V, CR-V, Pilot, Passport, and Ridgeline. They all have one thing in common. They never back off from a challenge. Available with all-wheel drive, the Honda SUV lineup has the performance you can count on and the capability to amaze. It's no wonder Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com named Honda the 2022 Best Value brand.
CMA's Honda of Winchester, 3985 Valley Pike. CMA, moving lives forward.
Based on 2022 brand image awards from Kelley Blue Book, visit KBB.com for more information.
Welcome back as we are in the fourth quarter between Martinsburg and Boys Latin, as there's some bubbles flying around Coburn Field at David M. Walker Stadium from the students section. 48-0 your score. Martinsburg on top of Boys Latin. Brian Dick in at quarterback. It is a 2nd down and 10 at the 25 of Boys Latin for Martinsburg. The snap back to Dick. He hands it off to his running back, who goes up the middle out across the 20 and tackled at the 19-yard line. Is Colin Schaffner still in at running back. Picks up those 5 yards to bring up another 3rd and medium. Again, fourth quarter, 8 minutes instead of 12, and it's also a rolling clock with a mercy rule as it's a 48-0 lead for the Bulldogs over the Lakers. Martinsburg breaks the huddle here on this 3rd down and 5 at the 20-yard line of Boys Latin. 3 receivers on the near side, 1 to the far side for Dick. Dick gets the snap, keeps it himself. He goes up the middle and has the first down out across the 15, stops at the 13-yard line, so it's a 1st and 10 Martinsburg. Great job there by the freshman, Brian Dick, to simply go with the quarterback keeper up the middle.
Yeah, they've just had no trouble running the ball. That starts with the offensive line. I've always been of the belief, at least in recent years, that your running game is, for the majority, predicated on your offensive line. There's only so much a running back can do if no holes are getting opened up for him.
6:18 to go in this fourth quarter. 1st and 10 at the 13 for Martinsburg. Whistle blows as play clock hits 0. It's a delay of game on the Bulldogs to back them up 5 yards and spot the ball at the 18-yard line now for a 1st down and 15. Your fourth quarter presented on TV 10 by W. Harley Miller Systems, providing custom integration services like home and office automation, home theater, networking, audio, video distribution, and more. Call 304-350-1931 as the play. Snap to Dick. Dick loses the ball. It's on the ground. Diving on top of it's Boys Latin at the 15-yard line, and That's where White gives the ball back to the Lakers with 5:46 to go in this fourth quarter.
Well, I guess there was a turnover bound to happen eventually. It's more likely when the running backs are in there, or the freshmen and the backups, JV players are in there.
Your other fourth quarter sponsors, Orsini's Home Store, not just an appliance store any longer. Visit them at 360 Hack Wilson Way or go to Orsinis.com. 1st and 10 for Boys Latin at its 17-yard line. 5:20 to go in this fourth quarter. It's Martinsburg 48, Boys Latin nothing. Weinman in at quarterback. Snap to him, play action pass to the near side. It's a low screen pass intended on the near side for Parker Evans, and it falls incomplete. Just seems like the rhythm and everything for the quarterbacks here so far for the Lakers is off tonight.
Yeah, it's not their game, really. At least it doesn't seem like it is. Maybe it's the Martinsburg defense throwing it off, but a lot of it's been quick passing, so it's not like it's been a pressure problem.
4:44 to go in this fourth quarter. A handoff to the running back on the far side, and it'll be a loss on the play as Andrew Wendell, the senior back, loses 3 yards as Martinsburg's linebacker is able to set the edge and pick up the stop. As Braden Edwards in on the stop, that brings up 3rd down and long. 4:15 to go in this fourth quarter. Whistles blow. Looks like it's a timeout called for Boys Latin. Let's take it with them. A 1-minute break. Your score with 4:16 to go in this fourth quarter. It is Martinsburg 48, Boys Latin nothing. A 1-minute break. You're tuned in to West Virginia High School Football on Talk Radio WRNR and TV10.
I'm Jonathan Bodwell, Bodwell Insurance Solutions, your local Medicare and life insurance agency. We are here to help you navigate the Medicare maze. We represent all of the major carriers, and you do not pay any more to go through us than if you go directly through a carrier. But if you go through us, you have a local professional to help you with all your Medicare needs, not a voice that could be in some other part of the world. Bodwell Insurance Solutions, your local Medicare agency, BodwellInsuranceSolutions.com or 304-283-0864.
Hi, it's Talk Radio WRNR and TV10 Spencer Dupuis. When I got into a car accident and needed to get another vehicle, I wanted to go somewhere I could trust. So I went to the Heffley Motor Company at 993 Hedgesville Road.
As a first-time car buyer, I really didn't know what to expect. But at Heffley, they treated me like family. Every step in the process was seamless. Not only did they give me a great deal, but they also helped me secure an amazing interest rate. Now I know firsthand why Heffley has such a great reputation in this community.
I ride with Heffley Motor Company, so you should too.
Welcome back here to Coburn Field at David M. Walker Stadium, and yes, there was a timeout by Boys Latin, but it was actually just kind of because you saw some lightning in the area, the rain has started, and both teams met at the middle and decided just to end this one, Dylan.
Yeah, I was going to say that timeout basically came at the same time as a strike of lightning came out through the sky, and they just blew the whistle and decided, don't really need to play the last 4 minutes of this game, and I'm with them.
Yeah, I agree, as your final score as Martinsburg improves to 3-0 with a 48-0 win over Boys Latin as both teams shake hands. Martinsburg will take its huddle at the 20-yard line in the south side of the field, and Boys Latin will head to the locker rooms as we wait here. We can take another 2-minute break so that we can get to our post-game show stuff, as kind of catching us by surprise as well as Nick Verzolini. So again, let's take a 2-minute break, Nick, back at the studio so that you can switch everything over if you haven't done so already, and then we'll be back. You're tuned into West Virginia High School Football on Talk Radio WRNR and TV10.
At the Berkeley County Health Department, our motto is prevent, promote, protect. Since 1935, our mission has been to provide clinical and environmental services to protect the health of the general public. We're committed to building public health in our community by offering a wide range of services, including blood pressure screening, breast and cervical screening, family planning, counseling, lab testing, and more. We perform health inspections to make sure the restaurants you visit are clean, and we prepare and coordinate plans to respond to all hazards. The Berkeley County Health Department, 122 Waverly Court, Martinsburg.
The Honda HR-V, CR-V, Pilot, Passport, and Ridgeline. They all have one thing in common. They never back off from a challenge. Available with all-wheel drive, the Honda SUV lineup has the performance you can count on and the capability to amaze. It's no wonder Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com named Honda the 2022 Best Value brand.
CMA's Honda of Winchester, 3985 Valley Pike. CMA, moving lives forward.
Based on 2022 brand image awards from Kelley Blue Book, visit KBB.com for more information.
Remember when you were a little kid and saw your first deer?
Oh, how cute.
As an adult, maybe you've had a different experience.
Where'd that come from?
Bambi mess up your dream machine? Call Cody's Auto Body today at 304-901-4777 and get the work done right the first time. Cody's Auto Body, 851 Wilston Street in Martinsburg, has a team of auto body professionals with a lifetime of experience putting your ride back together again, regardless of how it got that way. Cody's Auto Body.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna call my parents. Dad, come over. The brisket's done.
The Traeger Connected Experience. Everything you need for epic flavor, and then some.
Shop now and save at Orsini's today.
Welcome back here as we enter the post-game show, brought to you by the Palace Lounge on Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg with a full lunch and dinner menu, daily specials, and a clean, comfortable atmosphere. Check out the menu on the Palace Lounge Facebook page, and we're going to immediately send it down to Matt Miller, who's with the head coach of the Bulldogs, Dave Walker. Matt, whenever you're ready, take it away, sir.
All right, Coach. Is this a tough game to kind of evaluate when you come out of?
I mean, we started out the way we needed to, then we got sloppy. I mean, that's normal, I guess, but I'd like to see less penalties, you know, make it a little cleaner. But yeah, we got out of it without any injuries, so I think it's the main thing.
Second half, you did get a chance to get some younger guys in there. How important is that at this time of year?
Well, I mean, we got to create depth, and those guys have got to get better, and they got a lot of work to do. So I'd like to be able to complete the game, but I was, you know, something like this, you just want to get it over with and get going, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Take us to the way your offensive and defensive line played. They clearly led the way in this one.
They did. I mean, I think that's the focal point and strength of our team right now. I mean, we've got some really good athletes as well, but I think up front, I mean, all 3 weeks, I think our line plays really stood out.
How do you kind of evaluate through 3 weeks the progress your team has made?
Well, I think the conditioning part of it, I think we've played ourselves into pretty good shape. We're still making some penalties, you know, some dumb things, but it's things that we can clean up. So that's a good thing.
Good to come out of a game like this where, hey, it's a nice win, but we got things to work on.
Exactly. There's always stuff to work on, though.
Coaches are never satisfied.
Never.
Coach, get in there with your team. Thank you. Guys, back to you.
Thank you to Matt Miller as well as Dave Walker, the head coach, and looks like still got a little bit more breaks to do, so let's step aside, take a 3-minute break. Again, a 3-minute break, Nick, and then we'll come back and break things down here on the Palace Lounge post-game show. Again, your final score, Martinsburg 48, Boys Latin nothing. You're tuned into West Virginia High School Football and Talk Radio, WRNR and TV10, back in 3 minutes.
The Palace Lounge in Martinsburg is the place to be. Join us every night to relax and enjoy football or basketball games featuring either the Martinsburg Bulldogs, Shepherd University Rams, or West Virginia Mountaineers. We will have steak night every Wednesday, trip nights every Thursday, and now taco and margarita nights every Tuesday. You can find us on Facebook or call 304-267-7520. The Palace Lounge is located at 1350 Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg.
Remember when you were a little kid and saw your first deer?
Oh, how cute.
As an adult, maybe you've had a different experience.
Where'd that come from?
Bambi mess up your dream machine? Call Cody's Auto Body today at 304-901-4777 and get the work done right the first time. Cody's Auto Body, 851 Wilston Street in Martinsburg, has a team of auto body professionals with a lifetime of experience putting your ride back together again, regardless of how it got that way. Cody's Auto Body.
When will I be able to retire? How do I make the most of the money I have? How can I leave a lasting legacy to my loved ones? I'm John Everson, Private Wealth Advisor with the Mirius Group, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated. Call us today at 304-263-4343 to help you make the most of your financial future. Our office is located at 1270 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, West Virginia.
Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, member FINRA and SIPC.
I'm Jonathan Bodwell, Bodwell Insurance Solutions, your local Medicare and life insurance agency. We are here to help you navigate the Medicare maze. We represent all of the major carriers, and you do not pay any more to go through us than if you go directly through a carrier. But if you go through us, you have a local professional to help you with all your Medicare needs, not a voice that could be in some other part of the world. Bodwell Insurance Solutions, your local Medicare agency. BodwellInsuranceSolutions.com or 304-283-0864.
Mayhem is everywhere.
I'm your new bangs, and you can't stop staring at me. That's it. Just tilt the rearview mirror over here. And while you're checking me out more times than a library book, your car is wandering into that lane over there. More bangs. Neat. And if you've got cut rate insurance, you could be paying for this yourself. So get Allstate.
Call Martinsburg Allstate agent Gary Kelly today at 304-263-4596.
Hi, Crescia Hornby here. Larry DeMarco, broker of Modern Realty Results, believes he has some of the best real estate agents in the Eastern Panhandle. Agents at Modern Realty Results have years of experience and knowledge of the local real estate market. Agents within the office work as a team to provide quality customer service. We strive to always ensure client satisfaction through handling every transaction with honesty and integrity, all while offering competitive rates. Modern Realty Results is veteran-owned and managed. Please call us at 262-4222, modernrealtyresults.com.
Palace Lounge post-game show on Talk Radio WRNR and TV10. Martinsburg 48, Boys Latin nothing. So Martinsburg improves to 3-0 on the year with another big win tonight. Colin McLaughlin alongside me is Dylan Bishop for Talk Radio WRNR and TV10. John Alderton, Matt Miller, and Daryl Miller are workers here at the field, running camera and being our on-site producers as well, and we appreciate their help. Back at the studio is Nick Verzolini as we get into our post-game stats, brought to you by Bechtel Jewelers, West Virginia's largest Pandora retailer on Route 11 south of Inwood, taking care of you like it's nobody's business.
We'll start with Boys Latin. Really, it's a reading of defensive stats for Martinsburg because Weinman went 1 of 10 passing the ball for 11 yards and an interception. That one pass, the last play of the first half, was really the only thing keeping Boys Latin into positive yardage for the entire game. They had -7 total rushing yards and combine everything up. 4 total yards on the day in general when you add in that 11-yard pass. Threw an interception, had a fumble returned for a touchdown by Xerxes Yancey. That interception was by Murphy Clement. And then on the Martinsburg side of things, the offensive side, after Murphy Clement had that interception, he also went 8 for 11 passing, 8 of 10 in the first half, 182 yards, 4 passing touchdowns, 4 carries for 20 yards. Coy Fagan ends up with 11 carries for 128 yards. 65 of that was all in one drive. And it was the total yards on a drive, 4 plays, 65 yards. Ended up with, again, 128 yards and a touchdown. Nick Buskey comes in, 7 carries for 64 yards in cleanup duty. Sirrod Musgrove, 2 catches, 68 yards and a touchdown. Added in a punt return touchdown as well. 3 catches, 74 yards for Cash Gideon. 2 touchdowns, 1 catch, 10-yard touchdown for Tyon Jacobs before he was ejected for coming off the sideline, trying to break up a fight between Buzz Dover and a Boys Latin wide receiver on an interception return by Sirrod Musgrove that was eventually taken back by roughing the passer. It felt like there was about 7 penalties on that play, and only one of them ended up mattering.
That might be generous.
Yeah. So
more.
I mean, it's a great game overall. That's your stats for the game.
All right, let's get into our awards, starting off with the electrifying play of the game, brought to you by Orsini's Home Store, not just an appliance store any longer. Visit them at 360 Ack Wilson Way in Martinsburg, or go online at orsinis.com.
This is Sirrod Musgrove, his punt return touchdown. It's 2 games in a row. I mean, he has just been electrifying. Is the right word for what he is with the ball in his hands. It's incredible. He's been showing that not just in the punt return game, but as a wide receiver as well. It's been great what he's done after the catch. So, again, 2nd straight game with a punt return touchdown.
Wasn't sure which way you were going to go, either that or the scoop and score by Xerxes Yancey.
I very easily could have.
Yeah.
But listen, go with your gut.
Are good.
You know?
Yeah, both are good. So, Let's now get to tonight's collision of the game, brought to you by Cody's Auto Body at 851 Wilson Street, Martinsburg, family owned, offering superior customer service. Great pricing for a job done by experienced certified technicians. Call them at 304-901-4777 or visit their Facebook page, our Cody's Auto Body collision of the game. Dylan?
Nothing crazy in this game, but Rashad Reed did keep up his incredible work in the defensive tackles spot. Had a tackle for loss early first quarter of this one that just kind of set the tone for what was happening for the entire game. Again, -7 rushing yards for Boys Latin in the end, so no surprise that it was Rashad Reed getting in the backfield early and often.
How about our Good Hands catch of the game, brought to you by Kelly Allstate Insurance. For all of your insurance needs, call Gary Kelly at 304-263-4596 or stop by 724 Lakeview Drive in Martinsburg.
I'll go with Cash Gideon's first of 2 touchdown receptions. It was one of 4 passing touchdowns for Murphy Clement on the day. Just a corner route run into the side of the end zone for a 24-yard touchdown. He had a 34-yarder later in the game that he got a taunting penalty on when it was 27-0 in the first quarter. So that's the kind of stuff that you need to stay disciplined with. Again, it was 75 penalty yards in the first half. That's the kind of stuff you need to clean up for later games.
You heard that from Coach Walker as well.
Right, that's the kind of stuff that I said. He's going to talk about that stuff. It's the coaches always notice that, even if it's 40-0, they're going to clean stuff up because that's what you do as a coach. So in the end, great game from Cash Gideon, and he gets the Good Hands catch of the game.
And last but not least, our player of the game, brought to you by Bodwell Insurance Solutions, a local professional to help you with all of your Medicare needs. Go to bodwellinsurancesolutions.com or call 304-283-0864.
I think this one's got to be Murphy Clement. Gets an interception on the defensive side and then has a really great game passing the ball in the first half. Only threw the ball 10 times, but he completed 8 of them for 182 yards and 4 passing touchdowns. I was really, really impressed by the way that he threw the ball. We know what he can do with the ball in his hands running the ball, but he stood in the pocket. And, sometimes you can say, well, they're playing this team that clearly that was better than them. No, he was making passes into very tight windows that was really impressive for him to be doing. The passing touchdowns to Musgrove and Gideon in particular were very impressive. Couple in the middle of the field as well, where there was not a whole lot of room to fit the ball into the receiver, and he was able to do it. So I think it was a great game overall for Murphy.
All right, that wraps things up here on the Palace Lounge post-game show. Tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. on TV10 and WRNR TV on YouTube will be pregame coverage with kickoff at noon as we have Shepherd Rams football as they head to Edinburgh to take on the Fighting Scots. And then on the radio side of things, the pregame coverage starting at 3 p.m., kickoff at 6 p.m. It's the home opener for the West Virginia Mountaineers as they host the Duquesne Dukes. Your final score here at Martinsburg, the Bulldogs victorious again to improve to 3-0 on the season, 48-0 over the Boys Latin Lakers. For Nick Verzolini, who you'll hear from here in a little bit with our scoreboard show, as well as Daryl Miller, Matt Miller, John Alderton, and Dylan Bishop, I'm Colin McLaughlin signing off. This has been West Virginia High School Football on Talk Radio WRNR and TV10. Have a great night, everyone.
At Dutch Miller Automotive, we've grown quite a bit over the last 60 years, but our core principles remain the same. We believe in treating our customers and our team members like friends and family, and we see it as our obligation to give back to all the communities we are so fortunate to do business in. In just West Virginia alone, we've grown from one location on the west end of Huntington to 10 rooftops employing more than 500 Mountaineers. Check out the inventory from all of our stores at DutchMillerAuto.com. Dutch Miller Automotive Group, West Virginia proud.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%. Parsons' goal of financing for all. And Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars, too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
Nothing goes better with football than chicken. From Pee-wee to the big boys to the wing T formation. A hearty meal of 12 pieces for $12 is just what the boys need to be at their best. Oh my, fumbling, bumbling, stumbling.
Omaha!
Rock's 12 pieces of chicken, just $12.
The 37th Community Wellness Screening Event, sponsored by Rotary of Martinsburg with services provided by WVU Medicine, will be held Saturday, August 26, 6 to 10 a.m. at WVU Medicine Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation on Tavern Road in Martinsburg. Know your numbers. It's easy and convenient. No waiting in line, no doctor's appointment. Discounted screenings offered. Pre-registration required. Deadline to register is August 18th. Sign up today. Call 304-264-1223.
My kids, you know I want the best for you, don't you? We need to have a conversation.
End-of-life planning is no one's favorite discussion, but the relief of having everything in place when the hour of need arrives is a gift. Give it to your family. Plan ahead with us.
Brown Funeral Homes, a leading provider of cremations, invites you to explore the many flexible options of cremation. From environmental considerations to the benefit of greatly reduced cost, it may be the perfect answer for your family. Online at brownfuneralhomeswv.com. Brown Funeral Homes, here for you.
Mayhem is everywhere.
I'm your new bangs, and you can't stop staring at me. That's it. Just tilt the rearview mirror over here. And while you're checking me out more times than a library book, your car is wandering into that lane over there. More bangs? Neat. And if you've got cut rate insurance, you could be paying for this yourself. So get Allstate.
Call Martinsburg Allstate agent Gary Kelly today at 304-263-4596.
Hi, it's Talk Radio WRNR and TV10 Spencer Dupuis. When I got into a car accident and needed to get another vehicle, I wanted to go somewhere I could trust. So I went to the Heffley Motor Company at 993 Hedgesville Road.
As a first-time car buyer, I really didn't know what to expect. But at Heffley, they treated me like family. Every step in the process was seamless. Not only did they give me a great deal, but they also helped me secure an amazing interest rate. Now I know firsthand why Heffley has such a great reputation in this community.
I ride with Heffley Motor Company, so you should too.
We welcome you into the Extra Point Scoreboard Show. I'm your host, Nick Verzolini, here as your final from Martinsburg High School. Bulldogs get the win in the shortened game over Boys Latin, 48-0. Some other scores around the Eastern Panhandle. Quite a few low-scoring games throughout the entire state of West Virginia. Last updated at halftime, Hampshire goes into the half leading Hedgesville 7-6. Morgantown beats Musselman here tonight 10-6. So again, another low-scoring game. No score updated yet from Washington and Frankfort. Tough one for the Patriots going up against the number 5 team in AA Frankfort, but could be a winnable game. We'll have to wait and see what that final ends up being. Spring Mills last night heads to South Hagerstown, gets the win 39-14. Moving on to some other games around the state in AAA. Again, another low-scoring one in a potential upset. George Washington 0-2 to start the season, leading at the half over Hurricane 10-7. Need an update on that one, but at the half, GW was in front. Parkersburg South all over Woodrow Wilson, 63-6. I think I typed that in wrong, actually. I did type that in wrong. 34-6. Parkersburg leading South Charleston, 63-0. So, got my Parkersburg schools mixed up there. But Princeton Oak Hill tied at 7. University has taken the lead against Brooke, 9-7. And then Bridgeport beating John Marshall tonight, 50-17. Give you some other scores from around AAA. As I mentioned, Parkersburg beating at halftime. It was Parkersburg 63, South Charleston nothing. Some other scores here. Again, as I mentioned, Park South 34-6 over Woodrow Wilson. Tomorrow, good game between Ironton, Ohio and Cabell Midland. Let's see here. Bluefield, Greenbrier East, no score reported between them. Again, tomorrow, Jefferson in action against Spring Valley at 1 p.m. at Jefferson High School. So if you want to head out to that one, of course, check it out. Lincoln County, 20-7, lead over Ripley. And then Riverside beating St. Albans right now, 32-0. And I think there was one other AAA taking on a AA tonight. Or I'm sorry, last night. Fairmont Senior beating Preston 56-0. Tomorrow on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube, we'll have Shepherd University Rams football for you as the Rams head to Edinburgh for their first PSAC game of the year. Edinburgh coming in 0-1, Shepherd 1-0 after the thrilling 27-26 win over Southern Connecticut State. So you don't want to miss that game. Kickoff is set for noon, pregame coverage 11:30 a.m. And at 6 p.m. on Talk Radio WRNR, starting at 3 p.m. pregame coverage, you can listen to the West Virginia Mountaineers as they play their home opener against Duquesne, looking to get their first win of the season. But this is West Virginia High School on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10. I'm Nick Verzolini. Have a good night, everyone. Once again, your final score, Martinsburg 48, Boys Latin 0.
And that concludes today's postgame show. Be sure to tune in each week throughout the regular and postseason for more West Virginia high school football. Today's game has been brought to you by
Orsini's Home Store, Modern Realty Results, Cody's Auto Body, The Palace Lounge, CMA Honda, Bechtel Jewelers, the Berkeley County Health Department, Skinner Accident and Injury Lawyers, Brown's Funeral Home and Cremations, Hagerstown Ford, the Mansion Ferretti Law Firm, the Mirius Group of Financial Advisors, Bodwell Insurance Solutions, the Heffley Motor Company, W. Harley Miller Systems, Smallwood and Small Insurance, Chris Miller and the Dutch Miller Auto Group, Ollie's VIP Lounge, and the Gary Kelly Allstate Insurance Agency.
For the best in high school, college, and NFL coverage all season long, keep it tuned in to Talk Radio WRNR Martinsburg. All rights reserved.